It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bank, and we start with the League Championship Series continuing in baseball. First up, Game 5 of the ALCS between the Blue Jays and Mariners from Seattle, with the series tied at 2 games apiece. You can hear the game on ESPN Radio, with our coverage getting underway at 5:30 Eastern. Later tonight, the Dodgers will look to advance to the World Series for the second year in a row. They have a commanding 3-0 lead over the Brewers of the NLCS. This despite a slow start again in the series from Shohei Ohtani, but manager Dave Roberts isn't worried.
He's a big part of what we're doing. And so we're pitching really well. We're playing very good defense. Obviously, Shohei's not performing the way, he would like or we expect. But I just know how big of a part he is to this thing, and we got a long way to go.
You can hear tonight's NLCS on ESPN Radio with coverage starting at 8 Eastern. NFL news, Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell announces Carson Wentz will be his starter at quarterback on Sunday. And the Vikings face his former team, the Eagles. Rams receiver Puka Nacua is out for Sunday's game in London against Jacksonville with an ankle injury. Trey Diggs out for the Cowboys. He had a home accident that has put him in concussion protocol. Terry McLaurin also out again for the Commanders.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday from the NFL to college football and, of course, Major League Baseball playoffs. And I'll recap it all in my upon further review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right!
And off we go! Welcome aboard! Glad you're with us! AFR live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. We are here at Friends in Low Places on Broadway. Go make some noise! Man, bro, I'm gonna tell you what. I have done in my life a lot of remotes. I've gone to the Rose Bowl. I've gone to SEC championships, national championships, Super Bowls. I've even done remotes in this town for LSU games before. I ain't never seen nothing like this, what I'm looking at right now. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be an indication of what it's going to be like in First Bank Stadium on Saturday when LSU takes on Vanderbilt, but I'll tell you this much. I don't know if every LSU fan that's in Nashville just happens to be in this place right now. Is that possible, Alondra? I mean, do we just possibly have every LSU fan that's in Nashville just in this place in this very moment right now? I mean, could that
It feels like.
Yeah, I don't even know which mic.
I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know what's happening either.
Okay, I got it.
I don't know. Yeah, you probably got to turn that down because it's right by a speaker.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, we got a ton to do. 3 hours staring you in the face. And I'm going to tell you, for whatever vibes y'all had going on for 2 weeks after Ole Miss and all that, check that at the door because the vibes in Music City, USA right now are immaculate right now. We got a ton to do. All right, Phil Steele's coming up in about 12 minutes. Chris Lee of Vandy Sports is going to be with us here on site, give us a preview of the Commodores. Like, they're literally bringing out stanchions right now, to make sure that people don't bump the cameras and get too close. Sean Salsbury next hour. Scott Rabelais will be on site with us as well. LSU gymnast Kaylin Shio, Lexi Zeiss here with Our Lady of the Lake, and they're signing autographs, taking pictures to my immediate right. I mean, they're rock stars over here as well. And they're going to be our guest pickers in hour 3, so we got a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us. Muse, let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, LSU and Vanderbilt, Saturday morning here in Nashville, Tennessee. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday before we were wheels up. I'm sure on Thursday, Muse talked about it a little bit, but Whit Weeks is questionable. Bernard Gooden doubtful for this football game. And I'll tell you that when I was walking out of the Brian Kelly press conference, I saw my eyes Whit Weeks boot on his foot walking into a team meeting. It sure sounds like talking around the program today that it's a long shot for Whit Weeks to play in this football game on Saturday. And so if you're down Whit Weeks and Bernard Gooden and you're already down Gabe Relaford, you know, one of the positions on this team, position groups, your defensive line, in particular defensive front seven, in particular defensive line, thought to be great talent and depth on this team, is really, really potentially going to be tested on Saturday against Vanderbilt. Brian Kelly twice this week has mentioned, when he was asked about different things, he's pointed to the one thing that probably matters the most in this game. Muse, go back to Monday, if you would. On Monday, Brian Kelly was asked about defending Diego Pavia. This, Muse, I'm looking at it, looks like it's number 9 for Monday. On Monday, Brian Kelly was asked about defending Diego Pavia. And listen, the question was about Diego Pavia. Listen to where he goes with the answer.
Make him one-dimensional. You know, I think that those dual-threat quarterbacks, if they can do both, you're in trouble. So we've got to really do a great job in the running game. And not to say that he can't throw the ball, because he can. They average over 200 yards throwing the football. He's capable. But I think if you're trying to choose one or the other, he's going to kill you if he runs. So we're going to take the path that we need to be really good against the run and then put him in predictable situations. They're the best in the country in third down because they're in third and short most of the time. So we've got to get them off schedule. First down is really crucial for us. If we can get them again in second and third situations that are a little bit longer, we can be more predictive relative to the balance between run and pass.
Okay, so Brian Kelly's asked about Diego Pavia, and his answer is Pavia's great, but we got to keep him out of third and short. It's the key to the game is first and second down. Vanderbilt is second in the country in third down conversions at nearly 60%. And the reason they're second in the country in third down conversions at nearly 60% is because they end up in third and manageable because they're very good on first and second down. They average over, let me say this slowly, Vanderbilt averages over 7 yards per carry. On the season, they average over 7 yards per carry. So, on Thursday, Brian Kelly is meeting with reporters on Thursday at his meet availability, and he's asked about Harold Perkins. The questions about Harold Perkins and being able to pressure Diego Pavia, like having Perkins as someone who could pressure Pavia. Again, the questions about Harold Perkins and pressuring Diego Pavia. Listen to what Brian Kelly said.
Yeah, certainly one of the things that we've done really well is put pressure on the quarterback. But I'll be honest with you, it's going to be our ability to control first and second down. Or third down becomes quick game and it doesn't matter. You're not getting home. The ball's coming out so fast, you can't get there. So you've got to get into predictable third down situations, but then obviously that lends itself to us having some more success. So the real challenge here is first down and second down and making sure that when they get to third down, it's more than third and short.
Okay, Brian Kelly is giving you the test. Okay, this is like a situation where it's what do you call it? What do you call the exams where like it's an open book exam or something like that? Where like they give you the test. Now you still have to go study and you got to write out your answers and you got to answer all the questions appropriately. But the bottom line is Brian Kelly is telling you, he's giving you the questions to the test. Like this game for LSU is really simple. This game is a matter of LSU being able to defend Vanderbilt on first and second down to keep them in third and long so they don't convert. The team that is second in the country in third down conversion, because what Vanderbilt wants to do is shrink the game. They want to run the football. They want to possess the football, keep your defense on the field. They want to shrink the game and possess it. So the way that you don't allow that is you get off the field. If you want a reason for optimism, here it is. This is the same team you faced a year ago with a defense that was not nearly as talented or deep or veteran as this one. And a year ago, you faced this Vanderbilt team and you held them to 2 of 10 on third down. It was in Tiger Stadium, but they were 2 of 10 on third down. They were 2 for 3 on fourth down a year ago. And they ran for 122, and they threw for 186, and they put up 308. But remember, last year's defense was not nearly as good as this one. But look at the time of possession. LSU, 35 minutes time of possession. Vanderbilt, 25 minutes time of possession. It inverted. The way that Vanderbilt wants to play, LSU was able to invert that game a year ago. So Brian Kelly knows what the plan is against Vanderbilt. They know what you have to do to win, to defend against this offense and to win this football game. The question is, knowing what to do is one thing. Can you go execute it? And can you execute it if you're down Bernard Gooden and Whit Weeks, and you're going to rely on a freshman in Buddy Mathis to take more reps and a sophomore in Devon Keys to take more reps at linebacker? That's going to be the game within the game. Listen, I think LSU is going to be able to move the football in this game. I know we haven't seen them score a ton, but Vanderbilt is good against the run. They are not good against the pass, and LSU has athletes all over the field. This is going to be an instance with a healthier Nussmeier and LSU's athletes making plays in the secondary. Those opportunities are going to be there for LSU on Saturday. It's going to be more, do you let Vanderbilt control and dictate tempo in terms of the game? That's what we're going to be watching Saturday there in Nashville. And my goodness, all these crazy people who are here right now, watching us right now, y'all, whoo, they can make an impact in that game. I mean, we have seen it before where teams go into Vanderbilt and their fans take over because they'll put up, in a 40,000 seat stadium, you'll see teams bring 25, 30,000 people and take over that stadium. If this is any indication, we may be looking to see that on Saturday over at First Bank Stadium. Used to be Vanderbilt Stadium. They call it whatever they want now. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. A couple of Tiger fans already brought me a few ice-cold Bud Lights, the official beer of the Tigers, so make sure you get yours. Game watch party, tailgate, wherever you may be. Friends and low places here in Nashville. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, our coverage here in Nashville is brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Services. Sincere appreciation to our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics and Veteran Security Services. Without them, a trip like this isn't possible. Of course, if you need private security that you can count on, you want Veteran Security Services, where you're always protected, locally owned and operated, serving the Gulf Coast. Not a big national firm chasing profits. Neighbors protecting neighbors. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com, veteransecurityfirm.com. All right, y'all, we now got our first break of the show. When we come back, Phil Steele joins us every single Friday to preview the biggest games of the college football weekend. Just one segment with Phil, and then we got Chris Lee from Vandy Sports coming on at the bottom of this hour to give us the Vanderbilt perspective of this game. Don't you move, a jam-packed edition. We are live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, on Broadway at Friends in Low Places. Stay with us here on AFR.
After Further Review.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They're complete employer solutions at Glow Resources. And I always say it like that. Complete employer solutions, because at Glow Resources, they work for you, the business owner. They work for you, the HR manager, the operations manager, the hiring manager. If you're the person in your business responsible for finding the people in your business to make your business more efficient, you need Glow Resources. So check them out online. Start at the website. It's GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They will cast their net far and wide using their network of resources to find the right people to make your business the most efficient it can be. It's Glow Resources. Home base is in Baton Rouge, but they serve businesses all over the country and all over the world. So check them out online at glowresources.com, glowresources.com, GLO, glowresources.com, complete employer solutions.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Louisville Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Football Friday Nashville edition here on Broadway. And even though we are in Nashville getting ready for LSU and Vanderbilt, it would not be a Football Friday without Phil Steele, who's good enough to join us now. Phil, how are you?
I am doing great, Matt. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. We always appreciate your time and making yourself available. And what an awesome weekend of football we have with two games actually tonight, Phil, Friday, that I want to start with some potential, one with potential playoff implications. Louisville's at Miami. The Canes are a big favorite, 11.5, and they're trying to keep their perfection rolling. How do we see this one tonight, and what are we keeping an eye on with the Cardinals at the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I definitely like Miami in this one. I think if you follow Louisville so far this year, they have not had a single game this year that's impressed me. You go back to the Pitt game, they trailed by 17 and 10. I thought James Madison was a better team when they played them. James Madison had a 19-12 first down edge, but somehow at the end of the game, Louisville won by 14. So Miller Moss, just a 7-4 ratio this year. The run game has struggled. Isaac Brown is just 334 yards. Meanwhile, with Miami, I've been impressed 5 for 5 in their games. So this is one of those eye test games, Matt, where watching Miami, I'm very impressed. Watching Louisville, not that much impressed. And giving less than 2 touchdowns at home, I definitely like Miami in this one.
Phil, what about a thought on Nebraska at Minnesota tonight? Nebraska's 5-1, 2-1 in the Big Ten, so mathematically they still got a shot.
Yeah, Nebraska could clearly make the playoff. When you look at the rest of their schedule this year, they're playing Minnesota this week, Northwestern, USC at home, at UCLA. Now that at Penn State game doesn't look so tough. And then Iowa at home, they could very well be favored in all the rest of their games. Keep an eye on these Huskers. The thing that troubles me with them is they're not getting the margin. They didn't, the Michigan State game right around the spread, only beat Maryland by 3 last week. But this is a Minnesota team that just last week was outgained by Purdue, 456 to 262. Sort of fortunate to win the game. I like Nebraska to win the game. I would play Nebraska in this one, but just wouldn't be one of my top picks because of the fact they've been failing to get a lot of distance.
As we run into Saturday, Phil, a good one in the early window with Georgia Tech at Duke. This is one of those unranked favorite over a ranked team. Duke at home, a 2.5-point favorite over 6-0 and 12th ranked Georgia Tech. What do we make of this one, Phil? Do the Yellow Jackets remain perfect?
Yeah, and in this one, Matt, I appreciate the lines maker doing the work for me because Georgia Tech is not great as a favorite, but they are tremendous as an underdog. They played like 9 ranked ACC teams as a double-digit dog and won 8 of them. I'm just making up numbers, but it's close to that. They've done a phenomenal job. They struggle when they're in the favorites role. So all week long, they've been a dog. I like that. And I do think Georgia Tech's a better team. Now, Duke's played extremely well. They've got a very good defensive line. And, of course, Darian Mensah has a 15-2 ratio. But Georgia Tech's a better team. They're in the underdog role. And that's an automatic play for me with Brent Key.
He is Phil Steele. You can get him at Phil Steele 042, philsteele.com, STEELE, philsteele.com. Phil, Oklahoma suffered their first loss of the season last week. We talked about it last week, Phil. Anybody's guess with that rivalry, number one, and then what do we make of John Mateer's injury? Well, now we have a little bit more of a sample size, but Oklahoma's a 4.5-point road favorite at South Carolina. Do the Sooners get back on track?
Yeah, I think they do, man. In fact, you go back and look at the first half of that game against Texas last week. They had a 170 to 114-yard edge. They were winning 6-3 at the half, probably could have been up by more. And then Mateer started tossing interceptions in the second half, and the game really turned around, as did that punt return for a touchdown. I think Mateer now a week removed from the injury, and the fact that he's had time to practice with the first string, you're going to see a much sharper John Mateer. And I think when you compare these two teams this year, Oklahoma's a much better team. Defensively, they got the edge. Offensively, they have the edge, and capable of going on the road and getting the win here. I like Oklahoma minus the 4.5.
All right, Phil likes the Sooners to bounce back there. Phil, a game that's always wild, but usually in Jerry world, is Texas A&M at Arkansas. Arkansas, Bobby Petrino's debut last week, they gave Tennessee a scare, but this one is in Fayetteville. The Aggies are favored by 7 and a hook. Maybe a little bit of a look-ahead spot with LSU next week. Feels like a dangerous spot for the Aggies. Phil, what say you?
Yeah, I think it is. And as you know, Matt, I'm very high on Texas A&M. I think they're one of the most complete teams in the country. They've got the run game. They've got receivers like Craver and Concepcion. They've got one of the best offensive lines in the country. They have an outstanding defense. 21 sacks this year, long just 3.3 yards per carry. But as you mentioned, Arkansas can be dangerous. Now, their defense nowhere near what A&M does, but they've got the offense with Jalen Green, Bobby Petrino calling the plays. And as you mentioned, they took Tennessee to the wire, only losing by 3. So I think it is a tough spot for them. I like the Aggies to win the game, but I guess if you're laying 7.5, lean a little bit with Arkansas in this one, although Texas A&M is clearly the much better team.
Let's stay in that afternoon window. You got a top 10 matchup with Ole Miss visiting Georgia. Georgia, dramatic win last week against Auburn. Ole Miss struggled against Washington State. I don't know, Phil. This looks like a spot where Ole Miss probably gets their first blemish of the season. The Bulldogs are a 7.5-point home favorite. How do you see it?
Yeah, and Trinidad Chambliss is not a young quarterback, but he is making his first real road start. Remember, he was in Division II. Now he's playing here, and you look at these games so far, they've all been at home in the friendly confines. Now he's got to go on the road between the hedges, taking on a Georgia team that is going to be all fired up for this one. Ole Miss beat them last year. And not just beat them, they outplayed them where Georgia normally has the advantage, and that's at the line of scrimmage. So I think when you look at this matchup, you're going to see Georgia come in fired up to get revenge. It's Chambliss's first road start in the SEC, which I think is going to be big. And I really think, as I mentioned last week when we did the show, Georgia wins the rest of the regular season games and finds itself in the SEC title game. I like the Bulldogs here.
Georgia laying 7.5 at home. Phil, you're right. Big revenge spot from a season ago. I know that's an angle that you're big on. Hey, let's jump into the Big 12. Texas Tech, one of the pleasant surprises in college football, undefeated, ranked 7th in the country. They're on the road, though, in Tempe against a playoff team from a year ago where Arizona State is a 7.5-point home underdog. Texas Tech at Arizona State. Can the Red Raiders remain unbeaten?
I think they should remain unbeaten. They're really the best team in the Big 12. They've got the defense. You look at them offensively. Cam Dickey running for like 260 yards last week. Even if Aaron Morton doesn't play, I like what I saw to Will Hammond in the fourth quarter against Utah when he took a 10-10 game and made it 34-10. But this is a proud Arizona State team, the defending Big 12 champs. They leave it back at quarterback. They've already beaten Baylor and TCU in league play. They're a home underdog. I got to lean with Arizona State plus the points in this, but I do think at the end of the game, Texas Tech comes out with a very tight win, but closer than the experts expect.
Got a few more for you, Phil. Third Saturday in October, Tennessee at Alabama. You want to talk about a revenge spot? Here's another one after the Tide fell on Rocky Top a year ago. Alabama now a 7.5-point home favorite over the Vols. Tennessee, can they make it back-to-back years, or is the revenge spot too much for them?
Yeah, I think the revenge spot is too much. Plus a couple other things. Heupel on the road is an away dog. How about 1-6 against the spread? So they don't play as well. They don't travel as well. Go back to the Mississippi State game. They were sort of fortunate to come out of there with a win. Now they're taking on a much tougher Alabama team on the road. And then you've got two really good quarterbacks here. Now, we know Ty Simpson's not going to make a mistake. This guy's been flawless this year. Joey Aguilar is a quarterback that can make mistakes. He does have 5 interceptions this year, and, of course, last year at App State had double-digit interceptions. And the final factor would be the pass defenses. You wonder who's got the better pass D. Well, Alabama's got one of the best pass defenses in the country. Tennessee's actually towards the bottom of the SEC in pass defense. Add it all up, I like Alabama minus the points here.
Got a few more for you, Phil. You were all over last week. Southern Cal beating Michigan. You mentioned it all last season. They were a handful of plays away from potentially being a playoff team. Now this is the biggest one remaining on their schedule, no doubt, and the same for Notre Dame. It's in South Bend. 20 years after the Bush push, Notre Dame a 9.5-point home favorite over the Trojans. Who gets the biggest win?
I think Notre Dame's going to come out with the win, and I really would like to see USC's running back core be a little bit healthier. Interesting story last week. They lost their top 2 running backs to injury, and their third-string running back was listed as out on the report. He was in dress clothes at the start of the game, or in street clothes, I should say. They had to put him in uniform for the second half, use a walk-on running back in King Miller, who, by the way, had a great game. Shows you how USC dominated the line of scrimmage last week. So they are still depleted at the running back core. It's going to be rainy and windy in Notre Dame, which I think is an advantage for the Irish with Love and Price and the fact that USC's running back core is banged up. My favorite play in this one, Matt, would probably be under the total. I think Notre Dame's defense, which was maligned early in the year after they had given up 27 and 41 to 2 really good teams, is actually holding opponents to 122 yards per game, below their average. I think they worked the run game with Love and Price. I'm going to go with under in this game as my top play.
All right, we got 2 more. Remember, you can get online at philsteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. That's Phil Steele, STEELE, philsteele.com. Holy War, Phil, Utah at BYU survived the scare last week, and they are a 3.5-point home underdog in this game. Utah, the road favorite in the Holy War. Rivalry games are tough to peg, Phil. How do you see it there in Provo?
Yeah, when I look at BYU this year, Matt, I still haven't been blown away with them in any single game. Even last week, I had Arizona, and the score is 24-14, Arizona, fourth quarter. About 4 minutes to go, you're feeling pretty good. Somehow, some way, BYU manages to force overtime and win it in overtime, but by far not a dominating game. And Bear Bachmeier, the quarterback, hit just 12 or 29 passes. Meanwhile, when you look at Utah, the thing I love about them is the line of scrimmage. They've got 2 first-round draft picks at offensive tackle. They've got one of the best offensive lines in the country. Defensively, they got one of the best defenses, 5 sacks against Arizona State last week. So I really think they are the complete team, and they're another team playing with legitimate revenge. Remember, after last year's game, which BYU pulled out late, the Utah athletic director said this game was stolen from them by the referees. So I think you're going to see Utah come in here very focused and take away the fourth quarter against Texas Tech, where they were 10-10. Utah's played great all year. In fact, they've covered their road games by an average of 16 points per game. I'm going to go with the Utes in this one.
All right, Phil likes the road favorite, Utah. All right, Phil, we're in Nashville with honky-tonk music playing behind us, looking out on Broadway here on a beautiful sun-kissed 78-degree day, purple and gold everywhere, Phil, because people love to come to Nashville and you love to get an easy win over Vandy. Only LSU's an underdog in this game for the first time since the 1940s. I show up and they're an underdog for the first time in 80 years. Phil, please tell me all the purple and gold fans that are coming, hoping that LSU keeps its season on track, are going to leave Nashville happy. LSU a 2.5-point dog at Vanderbilt. How does it go Saturday morning here in Music City?
Well, you're going to love this one, Matt, because it's a me versus the computer game. My computer all week long has been saying Vanderbilt. All the indicators, power ratings, this power rating, that power rating, projected score, projected yards, everything says Vanderbilt in this game, according to the computer. My mind can't wrap around the fact LSU's an underdog in this game. And frankly, I think they played the tougher schedule so far this year, taking on teams like Clemson, Florida, Ole Miss. So they've played the much tougher schedule this season, and I think they're the better team. Better defense, definitely, and I think the offense will continue to improve as the season goes along. I like the 420 yards they had against South Carolina. So this was their bragging rights here in the office between me and the computer, but I'm going with LSU to come out of here with the win.
Yeah, Phil, I never liked your computer anyway. Sell that computer to kick rocks. Phil going with the Tigers. I'd love to see it. Hopefully so, man. Tigers lose this one. It'll be a long second half of this season. All right, Phil Steele plus tour up at philsteele.com. Let's remind people, as we always do, how the tour is doing and what they get when they go to the website.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, the Phil Steele Plus tour is up and available right now. Just go to philsteele.com. Right there in the main menu, you can click on the Phil Steele Plus tour. It's on YouTube. Last week, the tour went 10-5 on the selection. So make sure you get these plays. They're all absolutely free. 6 selections, 6 quick hitters, and even an NFL free play for you. All at philsteele.com.
10-5 last week. I tell you, Phil's just trying to pay for your kids' college. That's all he's a man. He's a man of the people. Hey, Phil, we appreciate it as always. Thank you so much for taking the time and for tolerating all the background noise. But I tell you, man, it feels great to be in Music City. Thank you as always for the time. Enjoy the football.
All right, have a great time in Nashville, Matt. Always enjoy the conversations, my friend.
All right, Phil, great stuff, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Phil Steele joining us from Music City. We appreciate him. We are brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson, his staff, they do amazing work. Say it all the time. Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. If you need your annual eye exam, the Williamson Eye Center can help you. If you need to update your contacts or glasses prescription, they can fill that prescription for you. If you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can help. 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. All right, y'all, we are here from Friends in Low Places on Broadway in Nashville. Live music all day long. The LSU Alumni Association is partying here as well. This place, they told me the capacity here is about 2,000 people at all. There's 4 levels of this place. So the capacity is 2,000. I don't know. We got to be close to that here already. And the Alumni Association group that was flying in today, which is another 150 people or so, they're not even getting here until like 5:30. So This is a hell of a crowd, man. This has been really impressive to see this LSU turnout. I mean, LSU fans always travel. Nashville's a great trip. Didn't really know what to expect. We're here in 2019 when LSU played Vanderbilt, but this has been impressive and at times a bit overwhelming. So hopefully all that carries into tomorrow's game against the Commodores. Phil Steele picking LSU to beat Vanderbilt. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Chris Lee, who covers Vanderbilt, has for a long time, said to join us on site. He's texting me. He's like, I can't find a place to park. So we'll see if Chris is here, whatever. We're going to bump. We'll see. But Chris Lee said to join us next year on AFR. Man, I love telling you about Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net. My buddy Derek Duplessis, man, does amazing work. And the great thing about Duplessis is, yes, they can build you that beautiful custom pool, that resort-style custom pool, the specifications that you want. But they also have a pool for any budget. So you can go to the website, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. And if you go to pick your pool on the homepage, you'll see how you can pick a pool starting at $49,000 and pick whatever finishes you want, whatever features you want. It's right there at DuplessisBuilders.net. So whether you want that beautiful custom resort-style pool or a sort of ready-made, you pick your finishes pool as low as $49K, Duplessis Builders can help you out. So check them out online. Start there at DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Derek Duplessis and his team do beautiful work. Check them out, DuplessisBuilders.net.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. The Tigers are on the hunt. Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
All right, welcome back. Hey, right right on time. We just started the segment. Hold on. We just started the segment right on time. Pop down. Here we go. I tell you what, man. Chris Lee has been a contributor and a friend for a long time here on the show, covered Vanderbilt. And I tell you, man, that's been yeoman's work for a long time. How different is it for you now? By the way, this timing was incredible. Wait, explain. Pull your mic a little closer, though. Just sure. Yeah. Explain to people what just happened here, like with you texting me running around here.
Well, look, you can walk faster downtown than you can drive, but you can't walk very fast here either.
I mean, this is, you asked me earlier in the week, what the LSU crowd was going to be like, and I wasn't really sure. A lot of disappointment after the Ole Miss loss. Chris, I don't know if it's just that every LSU fan in Nashville is in this bar right now, but it's lit. All right, give me a sense of what it's like covering Vanderbilt for a guy that's done it your whole career now. Clark Lee, Diego Pavio, winning team, favored for a game, favored against a top 10 opponent for the first time in 50 years.
It's like going from eating out of a dumpster to like, okay, wait, this is how everybody else lives. Football is fun.
Yeah.
Like, you go into Saturdays with an anticipation if you don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's new. This is the first time Vanderbilt's been a favorite, Matt, in 51 SEC games.
51.
And you know they've not been favored over LSU since 1948. But it's just been bad to the point, like, there's nothing. I stopped podcasting much because I'd said it all. There's nothing more to say. Like, they're bad. They're going to get beat a lot this week. 2 years ago, they lost every SEC game that they played by at least 17 points.
That was the 0-8 team that went 2-10 overall.
And look, 2 years before that, or maybe 3, I guess, or 2, was 2020. And like, as bad as they have been, Matt, they have never gone over for a season. Like, even go back to 1890 or whatever, when they played 2 games against the YMCA or whatever, they've never gone over for a season.
Yeah.
Right? And then that happened
literally the YMCA.
Right. They've never gone over for a season, and then, you know, you think you've got it figured out a couple of years ago, and it goes all back to crap again the next year.
Yeah.
And then last year with Pavia beating Alabama, that was kind of the first step of, oh, wow. Like, I will tell you, at no point last year did I think they would beat Alabama. It did not occur to me until the fourth quarter of the game, like, hey, they may be able to run the clock out and win it. Like, they were not as good last year as they are this year. But that was the kind of the beginning of, because I don't know if you remember this, Paul Feinbaum had done a show, I don't know, a few weeks before the season, and he had said...
Last year?
Yeah. He said, is this the last year that... Has Vanderbilt won its last game as a member of the SEC against another SEC school? And like, at the time, that felt like a fair question, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got conference realignment, and money is rolling things, and like, what do they have to offer at the table? They completely flipped the script. They did the stuff they needed to do with admissions and just common sense stuff. And I think the college football landscape, it's like a rubber band. You know, you take a rubber band like this and you pull it out. And that's what it used to be. Now college football is a rubber band that nobody has pulled out. And the ends are closer, the teams are all closer. Now, I think that goes for the Power 4, right? I don't think it goes for Kent State, but like, the world of opportunity has brought them to a place where competitiveness is not crazy, and then they made the pivots administratively to get there.
Yeah. Is Vanderbilt, I would say, the administration and the support, the boosters, committed to being good long term?
I mean, it feels like it for a change. It used to be the thing was, I would hear this over and over, like, how is anybody going to win? They would tell me, like, okay, we'll give our coach facilities that they need once they win some games. I'm like, well, wait a minute. They're not winning games because everything around here sucks.
Yeah, it's a chicken or the egg conversation.
And then, like, once every 10, 12 years, somebody would go 7-6. They'd get excited for a minute, and then it would go back to what it was. Probably the most important thing that happened to them was 3 years ago they played UNLV in September. And this is after they'd beaten Florida, beaten Kentucky, thought they had it figured out. They go to UNLV, they get beat by a mobile quarterback. Jaden Maeva, who ended up in bigger places. Yeah. And at that point, they're like, hey, this is not going to work. And I had one of the parents of one of the quarterbacks on the roster call me a couple weeks later, and he said, hey, look, coaches that talk with my son, encourage him to transfer elsewhere. Done that with all the quarterbacks on the roster because they have decided if they are going to win, they're going to have to get a mobile quarterback. They cannot go up against LSU's and Alabama's with the same kind of approach everybody else does, right? And so when they made
that AJ Swan? Not that you have to give out your source, but no, ended up at LSU.
Actually, it was not. I did talk to his dad too, but that was not the guy.
Yeah.
But and then he wound up somewhere else.
It's an example of, it's an illustration of what you're talking about.
Yeah, but anyway, fast forward to a year later, they're figuring out how are we going to do this, right? And they watch, Clark Lee watches Auburn get beat by New Mexico State.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, those guys have figured something out. Let's tap into that. Within a couple of months, they have hired Diego Pavia, the coaching staff, and here you are, where they're a 2.5-point favorite tomorrow. Like, that's not a world at any point where I thought we'd be living in, but they're a good football team.
Chris Lee, Vandy 247, Southeastern16.com as well. Make sure you're there. You're subscribed to all the content, YouTube, podcast, everywhere. Make sure you check it out there. Chris has covered Vandy. Chris has gone through the lean years, man. He has been so well. We've had a lot of good baseball conversations. Yeah. Those have been a bit more productive than the football ones, but this is a game tomorrow where we look at it, and it's fascinating because I think there's a very clear strength-on-strength, week-on-week component of this game. Where do you look at as what is the key matchup on Saturday?
Gosh, I think there's a bunch of key ones. It's a line of scrimmage league. Vanderbilt's offensive line this year is really good, really good. So I think just doing what they do, don't turn the ball over, run the ball, control the clock. That's going to be a big thing, number one. I think number two, I know LSU has struggled, right? The offensive struggles have been well documented.
Yeah.
If you played this game 100 times, there's a couple games out there where Nussmeier looks like the guy we thought. They've got a room of receivers that can really run.
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried about Vanderbilt being able to cover some of those guys on a good day. No, like it hasn't shown up yet, but it's not impossible either. And so I think to me, you want to keep LSU where they are. You don't want to get them confident. You probably get after the quarterback early. They've got a pretty good pass rush. They got 3 or 4 guys that can really get after you. To me, it's a strength on strength with Vanderbilt's offense and LSU's defense. That's where it's interesting. But I think the thing you don't want to have happen if you're Vanderbilt is LSU's offense to show up like everybody thought, because then there's a really difficult game for them to win.
Yeah. I know you have to get to campus.
I've got a while.
Okay, all right. Let me grab a break so we'll stay on time. We'll come back and we'll get a final thought on this game. Chris Lee is with us, Vandy 247, Southeastern 16. Make sure you check it out. We'll continue next here on AFR. Live from Nashville, and glad to have you hanging out with us here, and always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at Watermark and Renaissance. Watermark Baton Rouge, Renaissance Baton Rouge, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. The Watermark and the Renaissance have been great partners of ours, but great community partners as well, because no matter what event that you have coming up, Watermark and Renaissance, Allison Crump, the event coordinator there, she's fond of saying, we're in the business of saying yes. So if it's, you need their grand ballroom for 500 people, if you need a boardroom for 12 people, you're hosting a fundraiser. Listen, the LSU football team moves into Renaissance Baton Rouge the Friday before every home game, and they have the grand ballroom for team meetings and team meals, and they have smaller rooms for the position group meetings. So whatever it is that you have going, whatever event you want to host, think Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown in Baton Rouge. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance in Baton Rouge.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, we're wrapping up hour number one. Our Friday shows are presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're here in Nashville, Music City on Broadway at Friends in Low Places. Our buddy Chris Lee, at Chris Lee 70, at Chris Lee 70 on Twitter X, where you can get him, Vandy 247, of course. Also at Southeastern 16. Okay, we got about 4 minutes here. We talked about keys for the game tomorrow. If Vanderbilt wins the game, what do you think it looks like?
I think they want to be positive in turnovers, right? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, just pull it closer.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey man, we got Martina McBride going on back here. I know.
You
but you know what they told me, like back in Sweden, like they can't even hear the noise. I mean, the headphones are so amazing, the mics are so amazing, not even picking all that up.
Hear it all,
but I know, but you and I can barely hear each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got to be positive in turnovers. That was a thing where they failed against Alabama. Again, you don't want LSU to look like the LSU offense they thought. LSU ran the ball better a week ago. You want to keep that in check. And I think special teams could be a big thing. Nobody talks about them. Vanderbilt's got a really good kicker in Brock Taylor, who I think they trust inside of 60. I don't think he's missed a field goal in a calendar year. Wow. Now, he hasn't tried many lately because they convert touchdowns, but those are just some things that I think to look for. And the 11 o'clock kickoff, like that's tricky. Who shows up ready to play? I don't think weather will be a factor, but that's a bunch. I think it's going to be a close game. Yeah. I don't think one name's clearly better. I think you've got LSU's best unit, which is the defense, playing Vandy's best unit, which is the offense. And I think that point alone is going to be really, really fun.
Yeah. Brian Kelly has made the point all week that this is a game that for LSU has to be won on first and second down, because if you get to a situation where Vandy's consistently in third and short, it's the reason they convert 60% on third down, then they wear you down. Your defense are on the field. If you flip it and LSU is able to get going offensively, what do you think is sort of the culprit for Vanderbilt?
I think it's what you saw against Alabama, the inability to cover elite athletes downfield. They didn't play a lot of those before last week. It's not like Alabama gashed them left and right there. but there's a lot of guys, the Andersons, Barry and Brown, like those guys can be problems on the wrong day. Vanderbilt moved Martel Hyde, who was a two-way guy, back to primarily a defensive guy. He's the best cover corner. They did that against Alabama. I think that was an indicator that, hey, they're worried about that kind of thing. I think if you're Vanderbilt, that's one of the primary things. And LSU's defense is just so good. Like, I am curious, did Alabama put something on film that translates? In terms of Vanderbilt didn't score in the second half of that game. Yeah. They kind of cut down Pavia's escape lanes. LSU's front seven is very good, and their secondary is great. And so I do wonder, is there something there in terms of, because the problem with Vanderbilt is you can contain them and get them 3rd and 8 and have all the receivers covered, and then Pavia goes for 13. And by the way, he's healthier this year than he was when they played last year, which is a big thing and coming off a bye week. But I think those are some of the key things I'll be watching.
I know there's some we talked about it at the beginning of the show today, but there's some reports now that are trickling out in addition. I think it's doubtful that Whit Weeks plays in the game. So saw him yesterday at the facility wearing a boot, and some of the things I heard when I asked around, it doesn't sound like he's going to play. And I know there's some other reports today. So, if Bernard Gooden, who's LSU, played the most snaps defensive tackle for LSU, isn't available, and Whit Weeks isn't available, that changes LSU's dynamic in the front seven against a really good running team. We got 60 seconds, so who wins why?
I think Vanderbilt wins by one score, maybe a 27-24 type game.
Similar to last year.
Just because I think when push comes to shove, I trust them. Like if somebody's got it, say it goes to overtime, who I trust to score. I just think I trust Vanderbilt to make a play. They're a really good team. Again, line of scrimmage is a big thing. Their offensive line is really good. They're also, I think, the oldest team in the country, which matters, I think, in games like this.
I think it's one of those things that Clark Lee and Barton Simmons did very wisely. They identified what their approach was going to be, and it was go get old, experienced players that can buy into the system. It's going to be a fascinating thing to see, and it's going to be a good environment if this turnout is any indicator. Chris Lee, of course, Vandy 247, Southeastern 16. Check him out, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for battling the crowds to go join us here. All right, we'll kick off hour 2 from Friends in Low Places next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations in all. Our friends at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry can help find that beautiful piece of jewelry, whether you're thinking of getting engaged, if it's an anniversary present. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry has what you want to thrill her. So thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Whenever you buy for 10 stores, you have the purchasing power to get great selection and pass on great prices to your customers. And that's something where Lee Michaels thrives and has for 40 years, because you have box stores that can be cookie cutter, and then you have boutique jewelers which maybe don't have a great selection and can tend to be a bit overpriced. Lee Michaels is that perfect in between, with 10 locations where they have what you want. If they don't have it, they'll find it. They can't find it, they'll make it. And of course, they'll always give you a great price. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Online, LMFJ.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkett. It's another busy day of League Championship Series baseball. First up, Game 5 of the ALCS between the Mariners and Blue Jays from Seattle. That series is tied at 2 apiece. Toronto has won the last 2. ESPN's Jessica Mendoza talked about the Mariners' approach to the plate and why it's not working.
All out panic. My concern with Seattle is the chase right now. Like, watching their concern when the Blue Jays take the lead or retake the lead. Because remember, Seattle's had the lead in both of those games. They've scored first, and then the Blue Jays come roaring back.
You can hear the game on ESPN Radio with our coverage getting underway at the bottom of the hour. Tonight it is Game 4 of the NLCS with the Dodgers holding a commanding 3-0 lead over the Brewers. Our coverage on ESPN Radio from L.A. gets underway at 8 Eastern. NFL news, Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell has announced Carson Wentz will start at quarterback on Sunday when the Vikings host the Eagles. Rams receiver Puka Nacua is out for Sunday's game against Jacksonville in London with an ankle injury. Cowboys corner Trey Diggs is out against the Commanders. He had a home accident, which has put him in concussion protocol. Also, Colts receiver Josh Downs and quarterback Charvarius Ward will both miss Sunday's game against the Chargers.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday from the NFL to college football and, of course, Major League Baseball playoffs. And I'll recap it all in my Upon Further review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are in Nashville on Broadway at Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places, and could not be more excited to be here on the eve of LSU and Vanderbilt, a game where for LSU, I hesitate to say it's their season, but in losing to Ole Miss, you forfeited your margin for error that you gained by beating Clemson in the opener. So if you were to lose Saturday to Vanderbilt, then you have no more margin for error. If you look at what the committee did a season ago, thinking 10-2 is that benchmark, you'd have to win out if you lose on Saturday. And if you lose on Saturday, it's really hard to imagine LSU being a team capable of winning out with what's ahead. Chris Lee's with us from Vandy 247, also Southeastern 16. We got Sean Salsbury coming up in a dozen minutes from right now. Garth is blaring right now, calling Baton Rouge. This place is a madhouse here, man. Hey, I want to talk some of the SEC slate with you, but the Clark Lee-Brian Kelly dynamic is interesting as well. And we talked about it a lot a year ago when they faced for the first time. And most people, I think, know that Clark Lee was the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame under Brian Kelly. And Kelly has really waxed poetic about Lee, the coach he is, the person he is, the job he's done at Vanderbilt. What's the conversation like from Clark Lee about Kelly?
You know, they didn't talk about it a lot this week, surprisingly, maybe because it's been done before. But I'll tell you this: I know some of the people that have worked with Lee at Notre Dame and you, Brian Kelly. There's a lot of respect there. Yeah. There's a ton of respect. I think it goes both ways, and I think it's genuine.
Are there, you think, remnants or traces of working with Brian Kelly that Clark Lee still uses in his program?
Hard to say. I mean, Vanderbilt's such a unique animal. I mean, I think there's got to be right because they were at Notre Dame together. And I know that they had some of the same challenges at Notre Dame as an academic-focused school and administration's not understanding. So, I mean, I think there's got to be some commonalities that both of them took out of that experience.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because you're talking about a guy in Brian Kelly that's won over 300 games. He's the winningest active coach in college football. Clark Lee, still a relatively young coach, in his first head coaching job. Do you give an edge on the sideline one way or another in this game?
I mean, it feels like Vanderbilt's done a better job, but some of that is just from the point where they came. Like, Matt, when they took that program over and you know, after the COVID year, like, anytime you take a Vanderbilt job over, by definition, it's a rebuild.
Right.
I mean, other than James Franklin, and that quickly became a rebuild. It was as bad as I've seen it. Like the Sarah Fuller thing, which was a complete fraud, just decimated them, destroyed the confidence of a lot of kids in the school. And so I think bringing them back, like getting that from anything wasn't a disaster. So competitiveness was huge. Like it never dawned on me that they would get them to this point. So it feels like the answer is Vanderbilt because for dealing with the offensive scheme, it is incredibly difficult to defend and so creative, and they're so well coached. But on the other hand, I always think a guy like Brian Kelly, that is like the most underrated commodity in sports, a guy who's consistently good. You don't appreciate that till it's gone, and the next guy goes 4-8 or 5-7, and you feel like what Kelly has done is like a baseline of expectation, which is not always fair, especially right now in college football. So I mean, I think the answer is Vanderbilt staff, but I think LSU's, I mean, they've done really well too. Like I know Joe Sloan's been a hot topic. Yeah. Hey, try this on for size. This is in a different world how this could have gone. Vanderbilt really wanted Joe Sloan before it got
to be their head coach or OC.
To be its OC. Right when they were in the transition, when they're like, okay, we've got to go more mobile.
Interesting.
He was the guy they went out really hard for a few weeks, and then they settled on Jerry Kill and Tim Back. I mean, like that was great. That's one of those things that really worked out. That's like the thank God for unanswered prayers. And I don't know how much Sloan, and I don't say that to be disrespectful to Joe Sloan. I know he's really well liked. He's a great recruiter, and he's, by all accounts, a good coach. But, you know, the Nussmeier thing, like the help, I just wonder, like, how much is that hampering what he can or can't do? I give you a long answer than you wanted, but I think they're both really good staffs that have done great things in their own rights.
Yeah. Chris Lee is with us at Chris Lee 70 if you want to give him a follow on Twitter, at Southeastern 16 as well. So covering the whole league. You know, I think this is a really fascinating week, Chris, because a lot of the point spreads are north of a touchdown, but it feels like we're probably going to have a lot of competitive games. Yeah. So, like, let me ask, obviously you're here in Tennessee, so aside from Vanderbilt, you get a lot of Vols fans as well. Tennessee, 3rd Saturday in October at Alabama. Is that one where, I mean, Tennessee's the #1 scoring offense in the country.
Right.
I mean, they should, in theory, be able to go score down in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. Thought on that game?
I mean, it should be, but I think one of the most underrated things in the league right Alabama's defense. They've really covered well in the back end. You know, they found out some stuff on stopping the run against Vanderbilt in the second half, and they played Missouri pretty well. I mean, Missouri, I think, is better than people think. I think that atmosphere, you know, you got Ty Simpson, who's, I don't know if we pick the Heisman right now. That's who I'd take.
Yeah.
But their defense playing better in the background. Tennessee's given up almost 30 points a game. They could turn it into a shootout, but I don't think they will. I think it's going to be a lower score game than people are expecting. Because you look at Alabama's games, Matt, they keep the snaps for each team in the 50s. That's not how Tennessee wants to play.
Yeah, they want to go. The Ole Miss-Georgia game, I think, is another one. Georgia looks like they might have turned the corner, may not lose again. Ole Miss hasn't lost yet, but I have real questions about them. How do you feel about the game in Athens?
I don't know how to feel about Washington State. Was that like stuff that got exposed, or was that just a team that sleptwalked knowing what was ahead? You know, Washington State lost 59-10 to North Texas. You know, you can tell your locker room all week, okay, hey guys, watch out, they can get you, but you know, people are people. I mean, look, Kirby Smart had not lost in Athens in 6 years until Alabama.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. And Lane Kiffin still, for all the great things he's done in Oxford, Matt, this is the kind of game that's always eluded him. I mean, I guess it didn't last year, but it feels like a Georgia spot for me after what Georgia... I mean, Georgia's been great with its backs against the wall. They've now done it in Auburn and in Knoxville, and I think that counts for something.
Yeah. Who do you think wins that game?
I think Georgia wins it.
Georgia wins it home. You know, I think there's so many interesting storylines in this league because it feels like the top of the league maybe has come down.
Yes.
And the bottom of the league has come up. So it's just sort of compressed everybody closer together. So you look at teams that maybe traditionally we would have thought of as contenders or as dominant teams that aren't quite anymore, and people that might have been in the teams in the middle that were just out of reach of the top, but it's very much in reach. Like, I mean, I look at Oklahoma having lost this past week to Texas and feeling a little like, all right, I don't really know what to think of Oklahoma now, whereas going into that game, many would have said they've been the most impressive team in the conference up until this point. Well, now they got to go to South Carolina, who doesn't look good at all, but that's a tough place to play, and you start to ask your question, how good is Oklahoma? So Oklahoma at South Carolina, like, who do you think sort of picks up their season there?
Man, that to me, Matt, is the hardest game on the schedule to figure because I think it's going to be low scoring, and South Carolina's not impressed me at all. But they've scored a ton of touchdowns on defense and special teams, which is what Beamer always does. I think Oklahoma had some questions on offense anyway, even before the Mateer injury. They can't run the ball from the tailback spot. The line's been banged up again. You know, defensively, they've been unbelievable. But I mean, that might be a 10-7 game where somebody kicks a field. You know, it just feels like it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
And I feel like Oklahoma's a better team, but I don't know what Oklahoma is because I don't know what Mateer's going to be. Yeah. And that's the game where South Carolina can, you know, I'm not going to say mail it in, but be mediocre for a month and then pop up and just really get somebody. That's what Shane Beamer's done again and again.
But that defense at Oklahoma has been consistent. They've been outstanding. It'll be fascinating to see. It is After Further Review, our show here in Nashville, presented by Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Systems. We appreciate him greatly, and he is Chris Lee from Southeastern 16 and, of course, Vandy 247. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out here with us for a couple of segments. I know you got to get over to some baseball availability today. But, man, it's going to be fun tomorrow in the stadium. We're looking forward to it. We appreciate a couple of minutes.
It'll be fun. Stay safe.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
That is Chris Lee. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. What is it? Oh, loud. He's showing me his watch. He's got an alert that said it's too. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, brother. Showing the alert on his watch that it's been too loud. Rouse's helping you cover the spread all season long. No, we're not talking about the point spread. We're talking about the tailgate spread over at Rouse's. Hey, you want your adult beverages, your bourbons, your beers, your wine, they got it. Every other kind of beverage, of course, they can help you at Rouse's. And you're making groceries, you need something to throw on the grill, they're the best at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints with 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Hey, if you're coming here, if you're in Nashville, coming here to Friends in Low Places, LSU gymnasts Lexi Zeiss and Kaylin Shio are here. They're signing autographs and taking pictures with our friends from Our Lady of the Lake. We're thrilled to be here on behalf of Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. So make sure you pop by, and see the young ladies from the LSU gym team that are here as well. All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Sean Salsbury. We missed Sean earlier this week on Tuesday, but he's good enough to jump aboard with us here. We'll get a thought on LSU-Vanderbilt quarterback play with Nussmeier and Diego Pavia. We'll do that as we continue here on AFR from Nashville.
AFR.
Hey, remember, before you crank up your Home Central heater, call River City's 1 Hour Air. for that heater safety check. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 hour air. Remember, your AC is dormant for months. It can collect dust. It can be hazardous. Before you turn on your AC, before you turn on your heater, make sure it's clean, safe, and efficient to run during the cold weather months. 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town because they service so many of your friends and neighbors just like they do me. Again, it is preseason heater safety check time. Mention the Moscona special, and they'll knock $30 off the price. Just mention the show, and you'll save $30 at River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6th generation.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
We continue here from Nashville, Tennessee. LSU and Vanderbilt tomorrow from First Bank Stadium, and the party is just getting cranked up here in downtown Nashville, here on Broadway at Friends in Low Places. We're here with our friends from the LSU Alumni Association, Our Lady of the Lake, and Veteran Security Services. Of course, Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, and Veteran Security Services, where you're always protected, locally owned, proudly serving the Gulf Coast. Not a big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors, petrochemical plants, healthcare facilities, port maritime operations. You want veteran security services. VeteranSecurityFirm.com. VeteranSecurityFirm.com. That's VeteranSecurityFirm.com. All right, Scott Rabelais of The Advocate's going to join us on site here in just a smidge. We will also have our celebrity guest pickers will be LSU gymnasts Kaylin Shio and Lexi Zeiss. They're here with Our Lady of the Lake as well. They'll be with us on site at the start of hour number 3. We missed our buddy Sean Salsbury on Tuesday. This week he's good enough to join us here on Friday to help us preview LSU and Vanderbilt with an interesting quarterback matchup. Sean, it's always a pleasure, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you, man. Good to be on.
Man, it's our pleasure. Hey, I'm curious, watching Garrett Nussmeier last week, the question everybody's asked all season is about his health. Was there anything material that you noticed that would lead you to believe that he's getting better?
No, I actually thought he played pretty solid football last week, Matty. I mean, I know the record says 1 loss. The performance offensively hasn't been exactly what I think that LSU fans and most of us across the country expected, but they're still hanging, and this will be a great matchup this week. And he outperformed the other quarterback. I thought the defense was fantastic last week, but I don't see anything, and I know they're not saying much about it. I don't see anything, at least from the naked eye, without being there and watching every single thing he does, that says injury. Now, hurt, maybe. There may be something that's bugging him, but tough guy, understands it, raised in that kind of family, but also understands the consequences when he's not in the lineup. So some guys play through it and let other people speculate. I thought he played pretty well last week, and there's still a lot of bandwidth in that offense that needs to happen, and if they're going to go where they want to go, and it's probably going to have to happen because I can't remember the last time LSU was an underdog to Vanderbilt, which is a tribute to Vanderbilt and kind of says where LSU's offense is. But defensive performance last week, they shut Sellers down, kept up. I mean, the passing game was underneath, not a lot of big plays, and the run game, they shut him down big time. So both elevated, but there's still more to the offense. That defensive performance will get you places. There's still more to the passing game, and it doesn't look to me like there's an injury. Hurt, that's something that he'll have to decide, but I don't think you're going to hear much about it because he's a pretty tough kid.
What about on the flip side with Diego Pavia, who is, I don't know, Sean, that he's altogether unique, but it's a different type of challenge. So what is the challenge for the LSU defense going against Pavia this weekend?
The thing that he's going to rely on, Matty, and you know this, is he is going to rely on off-schedule big-time plays. And, you saw when they got beat against Alabama, he made some of them, but what happens when you're a guy and he is really talented, but he's a tough grinder. The guy, you love him. He's a guy who's going to die for a first down, going to run through you. He kind of epitomizes what Vanderbilt's taken on. But with big plays and with exciting stuff and chance-taking and gunslinger mentality comes tip ball interceptions, strip sacks, because you're trying to make a lot happen. He's got and I mean this as a compliment with him because it's permeated through their team. There's some hero ball involved with him. But if they're in rhythm and throwing and you're not hitting him, he'll make enough plays because he thinks he can make them all. And I think that's part of Vanderbilt's belief. We're no longer getting the Vanderbilt team. You're like, well, they're hoping to win and they're hoping they're competitive and they're hoping they got some toughness. It is, you're coming into our building and we're a lot tougher than you think, and our quarterback has been who we are. But you can if you play him right. And the one thing, when you force a guy off his spot, meaning from the pocket or move him, and they're going to do a lot to change his launch point so you don't get to tune in on him. But sometimes first one's not open, he'll take off. He's a big play guy that you're going to try to limit him. But for him, if I'm LSU's defense, I'm going to force him to be patient with completions the whole time, because guys that have a gunslinger mentality, and he's seen plenty of football, he's been in it a while, so I don't think you're going to rattle him. And he's not going to quit trying to make certain plays with his feet and throw to tight windows, but you can take him out of rhythm and force him into hero ball. I think that, interceptions and turnovers happen, but he gets into a rhythm and they're feeling it and you don't jump on him quickly. Even then, the guy's a battler. You're dealing with one of the great fighters in college football, and you got to get at him early. Then that feeling of, we're down 17 or we're down 14. Now I got to force myself into making plays. And you started to see in the Alabama game, as it went along, he felt the need that, okay, I got to make a few more plays. And then you force balls into windows you shouldn't. But a lot of respect for him and a ton of respect for the way Vanderbilt kind of takes on the personality of their quarterback, and he will not shy away from contact, and he sure as hell not going to shy away from the challenge. It's a pretty big test for LSU, and I would imagine a year and a half ago, if we'd have said this, somebody would have laughed at us. Vanderbilt's different. They're no longer a bye week for a team, and LSU sees that, and we all see it in the way Vegas feels about the point spread.
You mentioned the spread, Sean. It's first time since 1948 that Vanderbilt's favored over LSU. First time since 77 that they've been favored over a top 10 team. So we're talking about truly historic stuff there. We're also looking, Sean, at an interesting dynamic in this game because it sure sounds like Whit Weeks is not going to play for LSU. Bernard Gooden, the defensive tackle, has played more defensive snaps than anyone for LSU this year as well. Also is doubtful for this game. So the front seven for LSU, which has been talented and deep and dynamic, is probably going to be down. Arguably, it's two best players in the front seven at defensive tackle and at linebacker. So how much of a deal is that against this Vanderbilt offense that wants to run the football the way they do?
Oh, I think it's a big deal, and it's a two-dimensional run, Matty. As you know, that the quarterback can take it down and run it. So you got to deal with the edges, and you got to deal with inside quick-hitting run game that they have told you. I mean, their game plan weekly is going to tell you, while we may shift and adjust during a game, this is who we are, and I like it. And it is. I always laugh when people say, "Oh, they're down two players," but it's okay. You won't see a lot of change. Well, of course it matters. You're down two good players that matter in the front seven. So I don't think their attack is going to change. I think that they probably trust the fact that LSU's, normally we'd say it's a deep team. Rosters like LSU and Alabama and Georgia, you like to think that, hey, man, the guy playing behind them may not be as good, but it's not going to be oh, my gosh, what in the hell drop-off, at least if you're LSU, you hope. But make no mistake, coordinators are smart, and they know how to attack where they see the blood, and they know where to attack. So they're going to try to, but I don't think you're going to find Vanderbilt just, at the drop of a hat say, well, we're going to keep going. They're not going to play uphill. They're going to challenge it and see, does the depth become a problem? They'll go find out early how big a deal it is to LSU. And I like to think that LSU's depth when it comes to whether it's a freshman or somebody else who's playing, that scheme-wise, that the scheme fits, but also that they understand that between the first guy and the second guy, even though the starter is a better player, that you would like to think that through recruiting in this, that LSU, that there's not a major gap. But we're going to find out because they do want to run it, and they do want to get their quarterback on the edge, and then play action becomes a big problem. Because if they're running it, and you know it, what do, Matty? You bring an extra guy down. It's just natural. So if they're having early success running it, the key is, well, we got to bring somebody else in. And that may be LSU's deal to start to get a little bit nosy with other players because you're saying, well, if we're down a couple guys, how are we going to make up for that if you feel the discrepancy between the starter and the backup affects you? And then you're basically outside guys on an island and big plays happen. So the key here in this whole game is like they did with Sellers, and it's not just in this one, but in the entire run game, is to make sure that they're playing in long-yarded situations. So even if they break a 5-yarder, it's still 4th down and 3, and now they have to make the decision whether they go for it. So I would not be shocked if they get a little nosy, but you got to be careful and trust the guys on the edge and the corners to be able to make a play because play action will become very, very prevalent in this football game.
He is Sean Salsbury, the host of Unpaved. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. If you're not already, get there. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Sean, we got a few minutes left. I'd love just, what do you think is that key matchup that's going to tilt this game, which many think is going to be close? But last week I heard the look-ahead line would have been LSU 3. Tigers struggle to score against South Carolina. It flips to Vanderbilt 1.5, 2.5 now, whatever it is. Probably a close game. What do you see as the thing that tips the scales one way or another?
Yeah, you Matty, with that noise in the background, I couldn't hear the question. Sorry about that.
But yeah, no worries. I know I got a band here in Nashville right behind me. I was asking, what do you think?
You said something about a key matchup in the game.
Yeah. So what do you think is the key matchup, the key thing that's going to tilt this one way or another, and what's probably going to be a close game?
I think that you have to force Vanderbilt to play in, when I say long yarded situations, like 3rd and 6 or more, 2nd and 7 or 8 or more, because we just keep an eye on this. I'll make it simple. The matchup won't be just specific person on person. I think it's first down. I think if you win on first down, the rest will take care of itself. If they're in a run-pass situation on second down, it'll be difficult. And that kind of goes for anybody. But in this situation with it and their commitment to it and down a couple in the front seven more than likely, LSU has got to win on first down. And I'm not so sure it's not on both sides of the ball, offensively, but more important, defensively. And then I think you can force a few turnovers if you get them desperate. But you better start fast and you better win on first down.
He is Sean Salsbury. Make sure you get him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Hey, man, appreciate it. I know it was a hectic week, but thanks for squeezing us in here on this Friday, man. Have a great weekend. We'll look forward to chatting with you next week.
I wouldn't miss it. It sounds like that's my kind of party. I wish I was there. Have a great one, man. Enjoy.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, man. Nashville is always a great trip. It's a city that's exploded, certainly in the last 15 years or so. It's a destination for a lot of people in the Southeastern Conference that want to come to this trip, and a lot of LSU fans did. Hey, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Tell you every day to kill mold, remove odor. Call our friends at Parish Restoration. Their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. They do awesome work over at Parish Restoration. It doesn't matter if it's your home, your office. Someone asked me earlier this week, hey, man, will they spray your vehicle? You had water intrusion in the vehicle. It was kind of moldy and musty, mildewy. Yes, and they come to you. So the treatment, they have these hoses in their Sprinter vans, and so they'll come to your home, your office, whatever, and it's all like the hose is all like through the van. So yeah, they'll come to your office, your home. They'll spray your vehicle, knock it out lickety split. It's parishrestoration.com. It's more cost effective. It's more effective. It's more efficient. It's Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com. Go to parishrestoration.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here from Friends in Low Places, home of the LSU Alumni Association party here. We're here on behalf of Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Services. We appreciate those great businesses for making us, great partners of ours, for making our trip here possible. So let me knock out a quick break. Scott Rabelais of the Advocates here to cover the game on behalf of the Tigers, and the Advocate will join us on site as we continue here on After Further Review. We are live from Friends in Low Places in Nashville. Stick around here. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
AFR is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Remember, if you want to feel younger, like your younger self, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Hormone replacement therapy is a great way to do that. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Start there. Remember, they get the lowest prices and never any contracts. So a simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for HRT. You think about how you felt when you were younger, when you had great waking energy. When you got home from work, you didn't just feel like you wanted to slump into the couch. You had motivation to get in the gym. When you got in the gym, you had great workouts. You build muscle. You burn fat. You had great libido. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you regain that youthful feeling, that youthful energy. So go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Schedule that consultation. Just get that blood test and find out if you're a candidate for HRT at yourgoodwood.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Glad to have you back with us here on a Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are live from Friends in Low Places in Nashville, Tennessee. It's not quiet in here. That's not one way I would describe it. Scott Rabelais, longtime scribe over at The Advocate, good enough to join us here covering LSU. How are you, sir?
I'm good. This is like a concentrated tailgate party in here, and it is like they don't just take the others go. They take over. They take over.
I didn't know. I was asked earlier in the week what the LSU crowd was going to be like, and I wasn't really sure because with the loss to Ole Miss, and there's been a lot of just negativity for a couple of weeks and all the expectations. This has been, I think, a really encouraging sign. I mean, LSU fans came in droves. I think there's going to be a great presence in the stadium tomorrow. The threat of a loss always kind of gets people a little more. It does. A little more up. And man, I don't think we've really. You've covered LSU a long time. The most nervous fans might be for a Vanderbilt game ever?
Yeah, this is the biggest LSU-Vanderbilt game ever, you could say. I mean, the last time there was two ranked teams playing was 1947, and nobody remembers that. So that was Y.A. Tittle and Bernie Moore and guys like that. So, yeah, this is unusual. It's a great road trip. Probably, you could say the best road trip in the SEC to come to Nashville. People like to come, but it's a lot different from 2019, obviously, when LSU came over with Joe Burrow, and there were only a few hundred Vandy fans. It should be, for Vanderbilt, a great atmosphere tomorrow.
I mean, 2019, I was here as well for that. You know how many pictures I've taken today?
$1 per picture would do you pretty well, I think.
I don't know if I'd be retired, but it would pay for this trip, I'll tell you that much. So I know you reported it. It's out there as well about Whit Weeks. I saw him yesterday when we were leaving Brian Kelly's availability in a walking boot. Right. What's the latest that you're hearing?
The reports are that he's doubtful. Maybe still a game-time decision, as Brian Kelly said yesterday. You get to this point in the week, it's a game-time decision, but you have to expect that he's actually not going to play. So Davon Keys has got to fill in. He's played very well in spots for LSU this year, but you miss him. You miss his energy. He's for LSU's defense what Diego Pavia is for Vanderbilt's offense. That infusion of energy and confidence. So they got to overcome that. They're going to have to overcome that. I think they can, but this defense does have depth. But he's a big miss. You can't say he's not.
If there's I guess if there's an angle of that maybe from an LSU perspective can give you a little solace is the fact that you played the Florida game without Whit Weeks. I mean, he played 3 snaps, was ejected for targeting, and then Devon Keys and Tylen Singleton, and then later Zach Weeks, when West got hurt, had to step in and play. So they've done it before, but it feels like this is a different challenge with Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt. I don't know, when do you think maybe the defense is up for it?
Yeah, I think so. They've shown they can withstand some of these missing people in the game, that key players. I mean, you don't want to miss too many guys. Bernard Gooden, it seems like he's not going to play either. Also with a collarbone, so that's another miss. So I think Vanderbilt will make some plays and get some yards, but I still expect LSU to win the game.
Scott's throwing out the pick before I even asked for it. Scott, I mean, come on, I don't think you got to tease them.
You're right.
But it's interesting. Like you think LSU will win it? Why? I mean, Vanderbilt's favored in the game. Why do you think LSU wins it?
I think they have more athletes. I think Garrett Nussmeier's on the upward trend. Vanderbilt's pass defense is 15th in the SEC in pass efficiency. Yeah. So that's definitely a place where LSU can excel. They're good up front. It's going to be a little tough for LSU to have the balance they had last week offensively against South Carolina. But they didn't score. Obviously, Matt, they struggled with the turnovers, but they moved the ball. They controlled the game for the most part. It could have been 34-10 or 38-10. So I think LSU's on an upward trend. And then Vandy's got to think this is uncharted territory for them. This is the pressure of being a favorite. Yeah. It's a top 10 ranked team. This is nothing that anyone here has ever experienced. So who's there more pressure on? I don't know, but it's high stakes, Matt. It's high stakes because I remember we were looking at some of these coaches who've got to let go. I'm not saying Brian Kelly's going to get fired this year, but you don't win this one. It's hard to say a path where LSU beats A&M and Alabama going forward. So this is really important to get this one.
Look, if the committee showed us last year that 10-2 is the benchmark. Now it's a one-year sample of a 12-team playoff, but if that's the benchmark, then if you lose on Saturday to Vanderbilt, you have to win out. And it's hard to imagine a team that loses to Vanderbilt winning out.
Exactly, that's right. And a 9-3 team might sneak into the playoff, but you can't count on that. Yeah. You can't count on that. They expand the playoff next year to 14 or 16. Yeah, for sure. But this year with 12 teams, you have to think 10-2 and playing in this conference. They got 4 ranked teams, but if LSU can go 3-1 against these 4 ranked teams and hold serve against Arkansas and West Kentucky, they're definitely in the playoffs. So that's what's at stake. You know what it takes. You know the path required for LSU. They just got to go out and do it. And I think they will. I think it'll be a close game, but I think LSU will grind it out. Take the under, but I think LSU grinds it out.
Well, I mean, every game, we bet the under in every game they played this year.
That's right.
You're 6 games in and you haven't shown the ability to consistently score. It's hard to predict them doing it. It's not to say they can't. Nuss keeps getting healthier, but until they do it, it's hard to say I'm predicting they're going to break out offensively in this game.
Exactly, and they've had their opportunities. They could have had 27 points at Clemson. They could have had 34 points or 38 points last week against South Carolina. They've had those chances. They've got to execute it, and going on the road makes it a little more difficult. But we're talking about the players they're losing, or maybe without tomorrow with Weeks and Gooden. Aaron Anderson should come back. That will help, obviously. I think you said on the show earlier this week, and I agree, LSU's going to rely more on the pass. They were very balanced last week. I don't expect it to be quite that balanced this week because Vanderbilt's vulnerable to the pass.
They got to be balanced, though, man. They got to at least show the commitment to trying to run the football, which that's what they got away from against Ole Miss, and it cost them. All right, so Scott Rabelais says LSU wins by 47 points tomorrow. Write it down. That's what he said. Put it on Twitter. Put it everywhere. What can people expect tomorrow at the Advocate?
I'm here with Kobe Riley. We're gonna have our coverage. We're gonna have the columns and the game story and the analysis and the sidebars and the post-game video and all this stuff. So the full package. We're still waiting for Wilson Alexander to come back and join us. And everybody's been really nice about Wilson. We're gonna have him back in a couple of weeks, I think, for the Alabama game. Actually, he's going home for the Georgia Ole Miss game. So I'm very happy for him doing that.
Good. Yeah, our our condolences certainly with Wilson and his family. We look forward to having him back soon.
Absolutely.
So, Scott Rabelais, The Advocate. Follow him on Twitter. Read his stuff over at The Advocate. We appreciate it. Thank you as always. Great to see you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
One of the good guys, man. He's done a great job. Been reading Scott my whole life, man. Got all the College World Series posters from LSU's College World Series championships, and there's always Scott with the sidebar. So it's really cool to have Scott stop by here for a few minutes on AFR. We are glad to have you aboard with us here, presented by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics and Veteran Security Services. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake's done amazing work with the many different NIL deals they've done with LSU athletes. Part of the reason I've mentioned Kaylin Chio, Lexi Zeiss from the LSU gymnastics team are on this trip as well with Our Lady of the Lake. They're here taking pictures, greeting fans. Very cool, true third-party NIL deal that the young ladies are doing. And of course, Our Lady of the Lake has agreed to the naming rights to the new basketball arena. They're so interwoven with LSU athletics and LSU, the school, and all of our communities. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. We're also brought to you today by our friends at Veteran Security Services. VeteranSecurityFirm.com. VeteranSecurityFirm.com to learn more. We certainly appreciate Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Services for making our trip here to Nashville possible. Remember, at Veteran Security Services, every officer is vetted, trained in person, ready to respond with professionalism. So choose community, choose confidence, choose Veteran Security Services. VeteranSecurityFirm.com. All right, y'all, it's AFR. We got one segment to go to wrap up hour number 2. And a busy 5 o'clock hour. As I mentioned, the LSU gymnasts will be here as our celebrity guest pickers in 17 minutes from right now. We will get you a Saints-Bears pick and LSU-Vandy pick as well. And my goodness, this place, the crowd just keeps growing. If you're in Nashville or know someone who is, tell them to come on and join us here at Friends in Low Places on Broadway. It is after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Mutual New Tigers of the Pros, and we'll wrap up hour number 2 next.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. Hey, y'all, it is hunting season. You know that now. For me, that means whiskey hunting. For a lot of you, it means deer hunting. And our friends over at Clegg's Nursery can help you out with Mobucks, Busters, deer corn, rice bran. If you need that for your plots, our friends over at Clegg's Nursery have it in stock. And they're ready to help you out. So get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations, or maybe, look, LSU plays early on Saturday. Maybe you watch the maybe you get up early, go to Clegg's, watch the Tigers. When the Tigers end, you spend the rest of the afternoon, early evening, planting, getting your hands in the dirt. Make sure you get by and see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. The best selection. They got Johnny Naylor seeds. They got everything you need from the mulch and the soil bag or bulk. They got it covered over at Clegg's Nursery, the greatest selection. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number 2, we are presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. What a beautiful day, man. Actually, as I look around, Jack Pyburn's parents are here. The Weeks family is here as well at Friends in Low Places, and I don't know, several thousand LSU fans that are hanging out in all three levels. By the way, one of the very cool things, even if you're not here on this trip and you ever make it to Nashville and you come to this bar, Friends in Low Places. So, of course, Friends in Low Places, named after the famous Garth Brooks song. It's Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood's bar. And as I learned, this isn't a place that they just lent their name to. They actually do operate this place. There's a private club and a speakeasy in here as well. The big hat tip to Stephanie Broccoli, who, yes, like the vegetable, but spelled differently, who's from Mississippi, an LSU alum, who is the events coordinator manager here at Friends in Low Places, and she gave us the full tour of like all 4 floors, the whole thing. Incredible spot. But one of the amazing things, if you're walking up the stairwell to the rooftop, there is a mural, a panoramic mural taking up the entire stairwell that is the Garthquake, as they call it, when Garth Brooks played in Tiger Stadium. You know, during Colin Baton Rouge set off the Richter scale. Anyway, there's a panoramic shot of the entire stairwell of Tiger Stadium from that moment. It's amazing. It's a sight to behold. I love it. So good. I gotta take a picture of that. Hold on. I gotta take a picture of that. It says someone's wearing a T-shirt that says Caleb loves Moscona. You got a shirt printed that says Caleb loves Moscona. I'm here for it. I'm here for all that action. Tell them not to leave because I want to take a picture with them whenever I get on here. All right, it's After Further Review. All right, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we had some Thursday Night Football a night ago. Big night for Jamar Chase. Joe Flacco throwing him the football. 16 receptions. He was targeted 23 times, which is just absurd. Joe Flacco knows where the money's made, though, for the Bengals offense. So 16 receptions, 161 yards, and a touchdown. Ben Baby, longtime reporter for the Cincinnati Bengals, or I should say who covers the Cincinnati Bengals, with the tweet last night. With the 161 yards, Jamar Chase has now surpassed 6,000 receiving yards for his career. He is the 5th fastest in NFL history to reach that mark. Did it in just 69 games. Nice from Jamar Chase there. On the other side, that'd be Patrick Queen on the defensive in the defensive front seven for Pittsburgh. 4 stops in the ballgame. A little bit of a light night for PQ when you look at his the other stat lines that we've given you from him throughout the season. One to watch for Sunday, the Tennessee Titans. That's where you'll find Arden Key, except not this week. He is out for the game against the New England Patriots. He's got a quad. Be the second straight game that Arden Key has missed for Tennessee. When we have more, when he gets back, we'll let you know. That's Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, windows, door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. So we always say, energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. So if you're in the market for windows, you got options. You got options, and you could certainly shop around to find who's going to sell you windows the cheapest. And I will tell you that will never be Relief Windows. They're never going to be the cheapest because they can't be. They sell a premium product. It's custom windows, measure twice to install once, made for the exact specification of your home to reduce those costly air leaks. Of course, to make your home more energy efficient, you're going to get an exceptional customer service experience. The install, the quality of the install matters, and a true lifetime transferable warranty at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Windows door siding, oh yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. The New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears are going to play Sunday in Chicago, and a remarkable feat for the New Orleans Saints. They had perfect attendance at practice on Friday. Everyone that was listed on the injury report was a full participant on Friday, which is incredible to see. Isaac Yadam and John Ridgway are both listed as questionable. Everybody else, full participant, good to go. Alvin Kamara with his ankle went from a DNP Wednesday, limited Thursday, full Friday. He's good to go. Chris Olave with the hip, limited on Wednesday, full Thursday, full Friday. Alante Taylor with his knee, limited Wednesday, full Thursday, full Friday. And then Devon Gottschall, who had a rest day on Wednesday, Thursday, practiced fully on Friday. So everyone there, good to go, as healthy as you can imagine for the New Orleans Saints, who it feels like this has been, certainly from a year ago when it started this season, has been a constant battle to find healthy players. They're about as healthy as you can imagine going into this game against Chicago. The flip side of it is for the Bears, Noah Sewell is out with a concussion, linebacker, and their kicker, Cairo Santos, out with a right thigh injury. Grady Jarrett, Austin Booker, Travis Homer, DeAndre Swift with a groin, all questionable for the game on Sunday at Soldier Field. So the Bears in a little bit more of a tenuous injury situation than New Orleans. Remember, the Bears played on Monday, so they were on the road Monday night in Washington. They won in dramatic fashion with the late field goal after the Jaden Daniels fumble. So they played Monday, had to travel home after the game Monday. Tuesday's an off day in the NFL. So a short week for the Bears, a healthy week for the New Orleans Saints. We'll see how they shape up. I will give you next hour a full preview and prediction of Saints, Bears, and of course my pick for LSU and Vanderbilt. That's all coming up in hour number 3. All right, we're here at Friends in Low Places, courtesy of Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner in LSU Athletics, and Veteran Security Services. We're going to knock out a break. We'll get to Sports Center. We'll get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, we always do it. We have our celebrity guest picker, and our celebrity guest picker standings this year is a former LSU gymnast, April Burkholder, who's at the top of the list with an 8-2 record from several weeks back. Kaylin Chio, Lexi Zeiss, current LSU gymnast, they're here next on AFR. As we put a button here on hour number 2, got to remind you about Arco Power Systems. Some of my friends from Arco are actually here today. Excited to see them. And listen, when I talk about Arco Power Systems, I'm talking about industrial Generac generator power. These are not home standby generators. Let me be clear. This is not a home generator, okay? This is generator power for your business. What business? Doesn't matter. Any type of business. When the power goes out, what does that mean for your business? Think of it that way. Power goes out, what does that mean for your business? It can mean lack of productivity, and for a lot of us, that's just not an option. So you need Arco Power Systems, A-R-C-C-O, A-R-C-C-O, Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco Power Systems. Listen, I'll tell you candidly, until we started endorsing, I wasn't even aware of Arco, but they're a massive business. They're right there on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, offices in Little Rock and Mobile and San Antonio and Austin and Dallas and Houston and everywhere. Arco.com, Arco.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkin. We're a few minutes away from Game 5 of the American League Championship Series in Seattle. It will be the Mariners and the Blue Jays in a pivotal Game 5 with the series tied at 2 games apiece. So far, the road team has won every game in this series. Later tonight, the Dodgers will look to punch their ticket to the World Series as they host the Brewers in Game 4 of the NLCS. They hold a commanding 3-0 lead, and Tommy Edmonds knows they're close to getting back to the Fall Classic.
Yeah, we're really excited. You know, it's been a bit of a trying year. We didn't play the best during the regular season, but, you know, we're getting hot at the right time and, you know, just one win away. And
that win could come tonight. Our coverage on ESPN Radio gets underway at 8 Eastern. NFL news, Rams receiver Puka Nacua out for Sunday's game in London against Jacksonville. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell says it will be Carson Wentz getting the start on Sunday when the Vikings host the Eagles. J.J. McCarthy still recovering from an ankle injury, the third-string quarterback. And the Cowboys without Trey Diggs. A home accident has put Diggs in concussion protocol.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday from the NFL to college football and, of course, Major League Baseball playoffs. And I'll recap it all in my Upon Further review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 3. welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are live from Music City on Broadway. Friends in low places, LSU-Vanderbilt. Tomorrow in Nashville, Tigers find themselves as an unusual 2.5-point underdog against Vanderbilt. But vibes here are immaculate. And you know what you do when you want to win? You bring champions with you on the show. Our celebrity guest pickers, LSU gymnasts, Lexi Zeiss, Kaylin Chio, courtesy of Our Lady of the Lake Championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Everybody clap it up! Let's go, clap it up! Give it up, Tigers! All right. Let me see the ring. Oh, you both got them. Let's go. Will it fit my pinky? I gotta wear it.
Here.
So this is the SEC ring?
Yeah.
All right. How does it look?
It looks great. Great.
I got my bling.
It's
They say
amazing.
never trust a guy who wears a pinky ring, right? Is that what that's supposed to say? Isn't that how the saying goes?
I don't know.
Thank you both for being here.
You're welcome.
What is this? So you're all here as NIL partner athletes with Our Lady of the Lake. I'm going to sit somewhere more like head levels. I'm like towering over y'all.
Okay.
What's this experience like having an NIL opportunity with Our Lady of the Lake? Kaylin, you can start.
It's amazing. I mean, Our Lady of the Lake does so much for us. LSU Athletics, LSU partner with us. They take care of us. They welcome us with open arms. I don't think they've done anything ever bad. They've always been so supportive, and it's just like amazing just to have them by our side through everything.
Yeah, Lexi.
Yeah, I think just like we build our brand, especially at LSU, and Our Lady of the Lake takes care of us to be able to compete and do our gymnastics and do it well and make our bodies feel good. But it's just an honor to have this opportunity to be here in Nashville with Our Lady of the Lake.
How about, so you all have been taking photos and signing autographs. Which you come to something like this, you take it all in. What is this like, this whole day being here been like for y'all?
It's crazy. There's so many LSU fans. They travel as a pack, and they do it for gymnastics too. Obviously, it's a little bit different for football, but it's super exciting to be here and have so many people just love LSU like we do.
Yeah. Kaylin?
Yeah, I mean, Lexi and I went to just walk down Broadway this morning, and I think it's just like so cool to just see a different city, something that we're not used to, and just to kind of experience that and experience LSU representing them and representing us, and just seeing everyone out everywhere, and like just knowing that like it's not just like us representing LSU. There's so many people who come and travel for these things.
Have either of you competed in Nashville before? No. So, like, well, Vanderbilt doesn't have a team, right? That's why. So, and you haven't had an SEC meet because the SEC meets have been in New Orleans. That's right. So, would you like to compete here?
I feel like there'd be a lot of people that would come, so maybe.
Give me a thought before we get to our picks. Give me a thought on what the season's going to be like for you guys. Obviously, making it to the, falling just short of the finals a year ago. We were talking a little bit last night. It feels like a little bit of a redemption tour for you all, but how's it going so far?
It's going great. The team is looking great. You know, it's just October. We go in the gym, we grind every day. It's not easy at all, but I think we just know what we need to do to get there, and we're going to take it one step at a time. I feel like we've also worked a lot as a team to be a team. Like, it's important to work hard in the gym, and it's important to work on relationships outside the gym. So I think we put a lot of effort into that already. And it's showing inside the gym because we're absolutely killing it, especially for October.
Season's almost here. The LSU football Tigers, though, have business to take care of on Saturday here in Nashville. Kaylin Chio and Lexi Zeiss are here with us, LSU gymnasts. They're our guest pickers. So you have the honor now of picking winners in 10 games. Hit the music, Muse, if you would. So no point spreads. We're just picking winners. Now, Lexi is from Omaha, Nebraska. Kaylin is from Las Vegas, and her boyfriend attends Southern Cal, as I learned.
Yes.
So we might have some extreme bias in a couple of these games. We'll see how it all plays out, however. Let's start with a game tonight. You're Cornhuskers. You grew up a Cornhusker, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I still am. They are, like, I grew up there. I grew up at the stadium, and my parents have an ambulance that's decked out in Nebraska, so I'm a hardcore Nebraska fan.
What happens if Nebraska and LSU play in football?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. What would I do?
You were born into Nebraska.
Yeah.
You chose LSU.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what I would do.
You choose what you chose.
Then maybe LSU?
Oh,
My dad will be so sad. He's watching and he's going to be like, what?
I'm going to tell you what, Lexi. Let me find out LSU and Nebraska playing a sport and you're wearing red. Tell you what, that. All right. Nebraska this is tonight. Nebraska is at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Lexi, you get the honors. Who do you got?
Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.
I'll agree. Go Big Red for her.
Matt Rule. This week, very distracting week with the Penn State rumors. However, I do think Nebraska, better team, better quarterback, even on the road. I'll side with you all like the Cornhuskers. A big one tomorrow. Georgia Tech is at Duke. Georgia Tech, this is one of those unranked, favorite over ranked. Duke is a 2.5-point favorite over Georgia Tech. Lexi.
I'm going to say Georgia Tech just because they're rated a little bit higher, but Duke will give them a good fight. I agree. I think Georgia Tech as well. I think they're both really good teams, but I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be who's going to have the better night.
All right. For me, it's an auto play when you have an unranked favorite over a ranked team. So Duke unranked favorite over Georgia Tech. I'm going Duke. Oklahoma at South Carolina. John Mateer, the hand injury. They got their first loss last week against Texas. Oklahoma at South Carolina.
Oklahoma.
All right, we're all going Sooners. Why? Just because South Carolina's not any good?
Yeah, and my best friend goes to Oklahoma, so I'll choose them for that reason too.
So wait, like Oklahoma, really great gym program, obviously.
Really good, yeah.
So you don't hate them? I would hate them.
You don't really hate anyone in gymnastics.
Why not?
You just like are friends with everyone.
I don't know. I feel like I would hate them.
I feel it's like you have your like frenemy rival type of thing. But like I don't feel like there's no like hatred. Yeah, I don't know.
So you mean to tell me, all right, it's like, it's nationals, you're down to the four on the floor, and it's like there's one competitor is doing a beam routine, and if she scores a 987 or higher, they win the national championship and you don't. You're like fired up for her?
I'm not fired up, but I don't hate them.
I'd be sitting like fall.
No, we want to beat them at their best. That's called sportsmanship, though.
I don't care. I want to win.
You want to beat them at their best.
All right, if they ain't their best, then we win. Fall. All right, Texas Tech at Arizona State. Lexi.
Texas Tech, because Arizona State's quarterback isn't starting, right?
Oh, he's back.
He's
back this week, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm still going to go Texas Tech.
Okay.
I'll go Arizona State if he's back.
Kayla dropping a hammer. I'm going to stick with Texas Tech. Even though this is in Tempe, I'm still going to stick with Texas Tech. Tennessee at Bama. Is anybody picking Bama?
I'm picking Bama. Woo! I'm not. I'm staying with Tennessee. I'm staying with Tennessee. I got to.
Tennessee, the #1 scoring offense in the country. I think this is the week Alabama falls with their second loss. I do like Tennessee, the best scoring offense in the country, to go on the road and put them a bunch of points and win a shootout in Tuscaloosa. All right, USC at Notre Dame. Kayla, do you want to start on this one?
USC. I got to go Trojans on this one. I'm going Notre Dame. It's at home. Notre Dame's looking awesome.
Notre Dame, they're not losing again. They'll be 10-2 and make the playoff. As you all learned, it's called the Holy War, BYU and Utah. This one is at BYU. Lexi, who do you like?
I'm going Utah. They're only 20 miles apart, so I think Utah fans are going to show up too just because it's at BYU.
All right, Utah?
I'm going BYU. They looked really good last week, and I think they can just try to knock it out of the park this week.
BYU at home. BYU had an overtime win last week against Arizona. I was on Arizona on that game, so I was devastated to see BYU win that game. I do like Utah in this game, even though it's in Provo. And finally, the game here in Nashville, the reason we've all come, LSU at Vanderbilt. Who wins and why?
LSU! Go Tigers!
As if there's any doubt, whatsoever. All right, everybody. Lexi's Ice, Kayla Chio. Hey, all, give it up for Lexi's Ice, Kayla Chio! Go Tigers! Good luck.
Thank you.
This season coming up here. LSU Gymnastics trying to go for national championship number 2. These ladies will be a big part of it. It's been great to have you all. I know these fans have been excited to see you all today, so thanks for stopping by, for having some fun. Good luck, great success, good health. It's our pleasure, guys. That's Lexi Zeiss and Kaylin Chio on behalf of Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. We are here at Friends in Low Places in Nashville on Broadway. We're going to knock out a quick break, and we will continue. Stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Did we do good?
Of Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. Let's Rev. No, just me. I'm doing my live read. Just me. I'm doing my live read. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. Sorry. Rev, of course, is a great partner of ours here on After Further Review, and Rev boasts the only all-fiber network in Baton Rouge. So I cannot recommend highly enough that you do what I have done and what so many others at their home and their businesses have done, and that's Rev. Go to Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com to switch today. You get the best price and the best lightning-fast, high-speed internet on an all-fiber network. And I told you, it's really cool because earlier this week, literally on Monday, there were crews digging up my front yard, and I was excited to see crews dig up my front yard because they were laying fiber for the Rev network. So get to the website today, Let'sRev.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
I think they do a really good job from a play design, creating opportunities in their pass game. And then there's that second element of the play that Caleb has always done such a phenomenal job of. He was certainly through his college career, it was the highlight reels that you saw, and he's continued to do it in the NFL. And so, we got to do an excellent job with pursuit, continue to rush the passer, match the coverage, and play the scramble drill for an extended period of time, because he's going to make some plays because of it. And so we got to do an excellent job. Just because you're close on the initial play in the pocket, you still got to keep pursuing him because he's going to extend it.
That is Saints coach Kellen Moore as the Saints get set to take on the Bears in Chicago on Sunday. New Orleans is off to a 1-5 start. That's its worst start since 1999 when the Saints started 1-7. It would be Mike Ditka's final season in New Orleans. Spencer Rattler was good last week. He continues to protect the football and be an efficient player. We just aren't seeing the explosive breakout performances that are helping New Orleans win football games, as we've talked a good bit. On the flip side of it, when you look at this game against the Bears, there's a few things that I think really stick out in particular. Number one, Chicago hired the coach that everybody wanted. They got Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from Detroit. And at the beginning of the season, they started 0-2, a close loss to the Vikings, 27-24, and then they got blown out on the road by the Lions, 52-21. And it was just pretty clear that Detroit went into that game with a bit of a vengeance and a vendetta with their old coach, Ben Johnson. And a lot of those players and coaches were tired of hearing about what they might or might not be because Ben Johnson had left. Well, this is one of those, and by the way, since then, they blasted Dallas 31-14. They beat the Raiders 25-24, and they escaped Washington after the Jade Daniels fumble this last week by an identical 25-24 score. And those are the types of games, I think, that it's very clear that Chicago is playing. I mentioned the loss week 1 to Minnesota was 27-24. So you're talking about a team that is pretty much identified through 5 games what they are. Outside of the game against Detroit, which was a total outlier, they've been a good, not great defensive team under defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, and an improving offensive team. And what's interesting about the offense coming along as well is while they are averaging 25 points a game, that's 10th in the NFL. So it very much in the top half. They are showing balance as well in the offense. They're 11th in passing offense, 18th in rushing offense at 110 yards a game. But the 110 yards a game comes a little bit of a caveat because their running back, DeAndre Swift, up until this point, has largely been a non-factor this season. And it's one of those where we're looking at the injury report, and DeAndre Swift is questionable in this football game. So it will be very much worth keeping an eye on whether or not DeAndre Swift is going to play in this football game, and if he does, just how effective he might be able to be for the Chicago Bears. The Saints have had some recent success. 2 years ago, they beat Tyson Bagent, who's a backup quarterback for the Bears, who started in New Orleans. It's one of those where I think, the Bears, the Saints had, after really struggling against Chicago early in the Peyton Breeze era, losing the NFC Championship game, going to Chicago in 08 and losing those games, the Saints have won 8 in a row in this series. But this one feels a little different. You've got stability at head coach with Ben Johnson, who is ascending offensively. And remember where we started this conversation talking about Ben Johnson, being the Bears coach and going to Detroit, and there sort of being that vendetta, that chip on the shoulder. Listen, in the NFL, when you're talking about pros, where everybody's good and there is the true any given Sunday mantra, finding an extra gear, extra layer, extra fuel isn't always easy in the NFL. Like, in theory, the motivation should be the fact that you're a professional football player, but sometimes these opportunities present. And I do think this is one of those where Dennis Allen is motivated and will have his guys ready to play for him, because he is a demanding defensive coach and a very good defensive coach. Remember, as we've talked about Dennis Allen over the years. My gripe was never about Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator. Even Dennis Allen's Saints defenses were competitive. Maybe the best game Dennis Allen ever coached was the 9-0 win in Tampa, where they just dominated Tom Brady and the Bucs. So, I look at Dennis Allen as a really good defensive coach, a guy that's going to have this defense ready to go against a New Orleans offense that, despite all of the investment, the draft investment into that offensive line, has not played well. A quarterback in Spencer Rattler who has played very consistent football, efficient football, but not explosive football, and athletes on the offensive side that aren't helping Spencer Rattler elevate. I don't know that this is the situation on the road against a streaking, confident team when you're 1-5. I don't know that this is the situation where I'm necessarily anticipating New Orleans going on the road and getting a win. We've also seen New Orleans play 2 road games this year, at Seattle, at Buffalo, and they lost by double digits in both. Now, the Buffalo game is a little bit of an asterisk, but I think that's all because the Saints had an opportunity with a pass into the end zone in the fourth quarter, down 2 to take a lead, but they ended up losing by 12. You gave up 31 and lost by 12, and we're talking about that being a close game, which I think is sort of an illustration of the challenges this New Orleans Saints team has and really what our expectations are of this Saints team. So I do think this is a game where Chicago wins at home. I think it's a very comparable game to the ones the Bears have played already, a 20s type game, and I think it's a 25-20 Chicago win Sunday at Soldier Field. The Saints fall to 1-6, and you start to look and say, okay, well, where is the next win, and what is the possibility or probability of maybe seeing Tyler Shuck? Again, I am not suggesting that the Saints need to hurry up and bench Spencer Rattler. I'm not saying that the struggles they've had are Spencer Rattler's fault entirely. But your open day, your bye doesn't come until week 11. So maybe it's a situation where you ride with Rattler against Chicago and then for the next 3 against Tampa, at the Rams, at the Panthers. And if you're sitting there at that point at 1-10, then maybe at that point, or 1-9, excuse me, then maybe at that point you go to Shuck coming out of the bye and you let him start the remainder of the season. But if Spencer Rattler wants to keep this job, this is the spot where you feel like you got to turn it around. You got to be more competitive on the road, and you got to find a way to win a road football game because 3 of your next 4 are on the road. But you're at Chicago, you're home against Tampa, who's awesome right now, clearly the best team in the division. Then you're at the Rams, at the Panthers. So no rest for the weary. We'll see if the Saints can pull an upset, but they're an underdog, and I think they're rightfully an underdog, and I like the Bears to win this game 25-20 at Soldier Field on Sunday. All right, it's After Further Review. I'm glad to have you hanging out with us here. Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are at Friends in Low Places in Nashville, Tennessee on Broadway. An awesome jam-packed day it's been here as dusk evening starts to fall here in Nashville, and LSU fans have painted this town purple and gold, certainly here in Broadway today, and looking forward to a great evening and then into tomorrow morning where hopefully the Tigers get it done against Vanderbilt on Saturday morning there at First Bank Stadium. I just got people taking pictures with me all day, man. It's been awesome. So many people come out to watch the show, and we appreciate it greatly. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk to my buddy Ryan Cross from Our Lady of the Lake, get some of an update on the new arena, a lot of what the Lake is doing with LSU. We'll get into all that, and we'll give you an LSU and Vanderbilt pick before we get out of here. Stay with us here. It is AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you're thinking of selling your home, you need to call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com, agent225.com. Remember, when it comes to selling your home, there's no realtor that sells more homes than Darren James. He sells more homes than anyone. That's not my opinion. That's data. Wall Street Journal Real Trends lists the top 1% of realtors in America. Darren James, number 1 in Louisiana on the transaction side. Nobody closes more deals than Darren. You need need to sell your home, you need the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. You need Darren James. And remember, when you call Darren or go to the website, agent225.com, Darren has a home value tool on the website where you type in your address and it will use local market data to give you an estimate of what your home is worth today. Do it right now. It's the home value tool at agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, we roll along here from Friends in Low Places on Broadway in Nashville. What a day it's been. Of course, courtesy of our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics and Veteran Security Systems. And very, very pleased to have my buddy Ryan Cross from the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System joining us on site. One of the reasons that we're able to make this trip happen. How are you, man? Great to see you.
Glad to be here.
Why is it so important for FMOL, and in particular Our Lady of the Lake, to have this deep relationship with LSU?
Look, when you take exceptional higher education and exceptional healthcare and blend those two together, whether it's economic investment, whether it's improving the health trajectory of the state of Louisiana, incredible things can happen. LSU and Our Lady of the Lake have been working together for almost 15 years since Hurricane Katrina to train the next generation of doctors, invest in research and medical innovation, and take care of our communities across Louisiana. And we're just getting started.
Yeah. You know, I think everybody everybody certainly in Greater Baton Rouge, and then you look at the footprint of the entire health system, has felt the impact of the Lake and of FMOL in some form in their life.
That's right.
You know, for the sake of this conversation and what we're here today, it's always interesting to me how deeply interwoven OLOL and LSU are. Like we mentioned, we had Kaylin Chio and Lexi Zeiss here. You all have taken a big step in doing NIL deals with LSU athletes, which is, we've all seen the Garrett Nussmeier commercials. Why was that important for Our Lady of the Lake?
Look, we are privileged to take care of LSU athletics, all 500 student athletes, and provide them world-class orthopedic, sports medicine care, full circle, with our partners at Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. And to be able to tell that story to both the state of Louisiana, the Baton Rouge community, the broader SEC, and the entire country is an incredible opportunity. And with the Sports Medicine Institute that we're going to be investing in on campus with Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we're going to attract athletes from across the Gulf Coast of the United States to come get the world-class care that we provide LSU athletes every day. And the weekend warriors here in Baton Rouge and across the community in the region that just need to get care to get them back doing whatever it is that they love.
I want you to, I know that's something that when you and EJ Kuiper were in studio about a month ago, maybe about 6 weeks ago or so, we talked about, but remind our audience, if you would, because we've talked about the naming rights of the basketball arena, but the basketball arena is only going to be one piece of that development there. Would you elaborate a little bit on what you were talking about there?
Yeah, so once we get the construction underway for the new Our Lady of the Lake Health Arena on campus, we're also going to have an economic development district that's going to be on that plot with the arena that's going to have an entertainment district, everything from restaurants to shopping to mixed-use development. And it's also going to be the home of the Our Lady of the Lake and LSU Sports Medicine Institute building, where we're going to have everything from imaging to orthopedic care, sports medicine, sports performance, and all kinds of really cool, innovative ideas that we're working through right now. We'll all be housed under one roof, where no matter what kind of athlete you are, whether you're a professional athlete, a collegiate athlete, a warfighter, a first responder, you're going to be able to come to one building and get all the care.
That's amazing. And so in theory, the hope is, like what you alluded to, is that this will be such world-class care consolidated in one spot that athletes from anywhere in the state, the region, the country would come to Baton Rouge because of this facility.
Absolutely. And sports really is just a gateway. Not only will folks come to that Sports Medicine Institute to receive world-class care, but all of the care that's provided by the team, the incredible team at Our Lady of the Lake, is world-class. Whether you're talking about cancer care, the Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Institute, the Heart and Vascular Institute, with our cardiology teams, our surgeons, our orthopedists, pediatrics, the Lake Children's Hospital.
The Children's Hospital.
The team at the Children's Hospital I'd put them up against anybody in the country. I mean, we provide such a comprehensive suite of care, a suite of services, comprehensive care no matter what it is. Folks already come from all 64 parishes to receive care at Our Lady of the Lake. We're going to continue to grow that and expand it. We're so excited.
Ryan Cross with FMOL is here. I know people ask all the time, what's the latest with the arena? We had the very exciting announcement that Our Lady of the Lake has agreed to the naming rights of the arena whenever whatever the protocols are of votes, board, whatever it is. Where is that right now?
You know, we're working our way through getting legal documents drafted and finalized. I would expect that there would be a vote by the Board of Supervisors, which is the next big step before the end of the year. We're in the middle of appointing another president to LSU, and we're going to get that done first. And then after we have a new president named, we're going to move forward with the vote before the end of the year on the arena, and then that'll kind of kick it off to be able to do groundbreaking. There's a few months of survey data, things like that just have to get going once the board approves it, but that's the next big step, and it'll be really exciting. We're confident that's going to happen. We're already all making plans and working toward that, so we're getting close.
So Board of Supervisors approval at the December meeting is sort of the target, that a few months of permits planning would have, and then groundbreaking maybe sometime in the spring would be the target?
I would hope so.
Okay. That's exciting, man. I know it's been a long time coming for LSU, and I think we talked about every sport except volleyball will be in the new arena, correct?
That's right.
It's so exciting to think when that's built, what that's going to mean not only for LSU athletics but for the whole community.
For all of Baton Rouge, whether you're talking about South Baton Rouge, North Baton Rouge, the economic development that's going to catalyze is going to change Baton Rouge forever. It's going to set it on just a trajectory to thrive in a way that so many of us have wanted to see for decades, but we haven't had that injection, and we're going to get that with this. So we're really excited.
Who's going to win tomorrow?
The Tigers. LSU all the way.
Bro. I mean, they got to. Look, I didn't come to Nashville to watch LSU lose to Vanderbilt.
None of us did.
I mean, we didn't do the Clemson trip this year because I was like, I'm tired of going to the openers. All that goes into bringing a broadcast and everything. And I mean, like you see it, you saw it set up. And like it takes a lot.
Yep.
And Alondra is incredible. I mean, making this work and everything. But I was like, I'll go to Nashville. Alumni will be there. Beautiful town, fun trip. LSU-Vandy, nothing to it. Like, I ain't come here to watch them lose, dog.
And if walking down Broadway is any sign, the purple and gold that we're seeing outside right now, we're going to show up well.
Yeah.
You know, and the Tigers are going to bring it.
So Chris Lee, who covers Vanderbilt, has for years, came here on site with us in hour one. Chris texted me earlier this week, and he's like, is LSU going to bring a lot of people? Kind of sounds like some of the scuttle that maybe they're not expected to travel too well. And so I started to think, like, is there just a little apprehension, whatever? Today, I'm like, Dude, vibe check, immaculate.
Everybody's excited. It's going to be fantastic.
LSU's undefeated, ranked number 1 in the country, blowing everybody out by 46 if you were around here today. I mean, that's how it feels. And that's what we need to see tomorrow is Tigers play really well and go get a win. Ryan Cross, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
For everything y'all do. And by the way, we did not call each other before. We're wearing like literally the exact same shirt today, but always proud to wear the Our Lady of the Lake logo on my chest. Of course, as an LSU alum, LSU and Our Lady of the Lake, as they say, together we will appreciate you, man. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me give you a quick reminder about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Get to ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Tell you, man, my buddy Martin texted me yesterday. They always do such an incredible job at Shawbills of blending the manufacturer offer with their in-house offer to get you the best price possible on tires. So right now, we're talking about Michelin. You can get up to $278 off a set of Michelin tires. It's two $80 mail-in rebates that are stackable, plus $118 free installation when you use your Shawbills credit card. We're talking about $278 off a set of Michelin over at Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. That's only good, though, through Halloween. So get on by Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We got one segment to go from Friends in Low Places here on Broadway in Nashville. Tigers getting ready for the Commodores. The only thing left for me to do is give you my final preview and prediction on Saturday's game. So we'll do that when we come back to wrap up a busy Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're in Nashville courtesy of Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Services. Stay with us here. It is AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about our friends over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Of course, you can get to the website, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You can always see testimonials at getgordon.com. The many different people that Gordon and his team all over the state of Louisiana have been able to help. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, a big truck accident, if it's a maritime accident, or any type of accident that's not your fault. If you've been injured, Gordon and his team will go to work for you to get you what you deserve to get your life back to normal. So go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. The website's an awesome resource. You can see client testimonials. All the contact information is there. You can see the types of cases that they handle at the website as well. And there's a link there for Gordon Gives, which is the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon is so charitable and gives back in so many ways to the communities that have given so much to him and his family, as he often says. So if you've been injured in an accident, you know what to do. Go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Football Friday edition of AFR. We are presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are here at Friends in Low Places in Nashville on Broadway. What an awesome spot. What a great day this has been. A lot of folks are going and finding a place for dinner now, and it'll be, I would imagine, a late night in Nashville for many Tiger fans. We'll see how good the vibes are in the morning when you might have a few Bloody Marys, as Brian Kelly said earlier in the week, at 6 a.m. to get set for this one. In any event, it'll be LSU and Vanderbilt, 11 a.m. From First Bank Stadium in Nashville. As we inch closer to kickoff, the story that I think we got to be watching the closest is Whit Weeks and Bernard Gooden and their availability. All week, Bernard Gooden has been listed as doubtful. Whit Weeks, when Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday, was questionable. I shared with you as we started the show today, after I saw Whit Weeks in a walking boot a day ago, started to ask around, and it certainly seems like he is more doubtful. It's almost, I hesitate to say a certainty that he won't play, but I think it is more likely that he will not play against Vanderbilt. So you're talking about not having Whit Weeks, not having Bernard Gooden, not having Gabe Relaford, and what that might mean for LSU defensively against a Vanderbilt team that's top 20 in the country in rushing offense. You know, Brian Kelly, when he met with reporters, on Thursday, was talking a little bit about this Vanderbilt offense. And Muse, I'm not sure which one it is, but he was effectively saying that facing this Vanderbilt offense is kind of like, oh, there it is. It's number 3, please. He made a comp to facing Navy. Give a listen.
The first thing I said to him is that we're playing Navy. You know, we're playing triple option. You have to do your job. If you don't do your job, they're going to rip off a big play. So, this is matching our traits with our talent. Like, you can't go in there and say, I'm just going to out-talent Vanderbilt. They're going to beat you. If you go into the game and say, listen, we're going to follow our traits, our discipline, our detail, we're going to play smart, and then bring our talent, that now we're in a much better position. But if you go in there thinking, okay, we've got better players, and I can argue that in some places they have better players than we do. But the point I'm making is you have to bring those traits to a team that plays so well together.
I look at this game and hearing Brian Kelly make the comp of Vanderbilt to Navy actually was really encouraging for me. Because, remember, Brian Kelly, for more than a decade, was the coach at Notre Dame, and he had that challenge of facing Navy every year. And if you're facing a triple option offense in week 1, that's way easier than doing it in the middle of the season, because you can rep that in the offseason and prepare your team and your defense to face something it's not going to see otherwise. When it's plopped right down in the middle of the season, that's a real challenge. But Brian Kelly had a great record against Navy. And last year, when you think about the LSU defense, which was objectively not as good as this year's defense, either in talent, productivity, any of that stuff, that LSU defense in Tiger Stadium, but executed the game plan almost flawlessly against this Vanderbilt offense. And it's the same offense with Diego Pavia, Tim Beck as the coordinator, and what they're trying to do. And LSU won that game 24-17. And the things that Brian Kelly has talked about, controlling first and second down to put Vanderbilt in third and long, was the ticket. That's what LSU was able to do a year ago. Vanderbilt in that game in Tiger Stadium was just 2 of 10 on third down. This year, Vanderbilt is converting nearly 60%. They're at 58% on third down. That's number 2 in the country. So Vanderbilt, what they do offensively is pretty clear. They are really effective, averaging 7.1 yards per carry at getting into third and short. And so what happens is they're able to extend drives, possess the football, keep the opponent's defense on the field. How do you stop that? You're disciplined on first and second down. You force them into third and long to where they have to throw, and then Blake Baker can dial up his pressure. Like, that's it. I mean, that's what you do to Vanderbilt. It's easier said than done, though. That's the challenge. Vanderbilt on the season is 5-1, just like LSU. They are coming off an open date where they had suffered their first loss of the season to Alabama, had an open date, now are facing LSU. But this is a Vanderbilt team that is averaging 43 points a game, and they are 36 in scoring defense at 19 points per game. So you're talking about a team that's been balanced, but they scored 45 against Charleston Southern. They scored 44 against Virginia Tech. They scored 31 at South Carolina when Sellers wasn't playing in the second half. They put up 70 on Georgia State, 55 on Utah State, and then they went on the road and played Alabama and scored 14. Now, we know they had red zone turnovers in that game. So sometimes a result can look differently, as we saw last week with LSU and South Carolina, when you don't protect the football. And that's what's happened with Vanderbilt against Alabama. Diego Pavia fumbled inside the 10. He threw an interception in the red zone. There's 2 scoring opportunities that would have made that either a one-score game or had Vanderbilt in the lead. And, of course, the final margin, because it was 23-14, it was a 9-point game. And then Jan Miller ripped off the long run as they were running out the clock to make it 30-14. But it was a closer ball game, certainly, than that. But Vanderbilt's red zone turnovers cost them, just like LSU's a week ago. They played a 20-10 game against South Carolina, but you fumbled at the 1. Nuss threw an interception at the goal line. He threw another interception at the 26-yard line. I mean, those are 3 scoring opportunities where if you convert those scoring opportunities, you probably win that game 34-37 to 10. You blow them out, and everybody's a very different feel. Offensively for LSU, I do think that this is a pretty, again, easy game to handicap and explain what the target is going to be, or the approach is going to be for LSU. You got to be balanced. There was on Brian Kelly's radio show, he discussed this on Thursday night. When LSU running backs have 10 carries in the game. His teams are 25. Can you play that one, Muse? This is Brian Kelly on his radio show.
25-5 over the 46 games that I've been the head coach. 25-5 versus 9-7 when a tailback carries the ball 10 times or more. When the tailback carries the ball 10 times or more, you're 25-5. So this is not rocket science. I mean, this means that you have to have a running game that allows you to open things up for our quarterback. If you don't, then it's tough sledding because they're going to drop 8. They're going to play coverage that's soft over the top, and they're going to make you go 13 plays without making a mistake. And you've seen us play. We're mistake prone, and we have to eliminate that. And so it starts with a really good running game, and it starts with the ability to get off the ball.
So, Brian Kelly is telling you that statistic. That's not a media creation. That's not a fan asking a question. That's Brian Kelly knowing that data. You don't think he shared that number with Joe Sloan, that they're 25-5 when a running back carries the ball 10 times? Like, it is the answer to the test. It's something we talked about ad nauseum after the Ole Miss game because it was so stunning to see where LSU tailbacks had 2 carries in the first half. One was a draw on 3rd and 20. There were 2 instances the entire game where they handed the ball off to it, where they had a running play on consecutive downs. There has to be at least a commitment to trying to run the football, to make a defense respect your opportunity to run the football, which will create opportunities in the back end for LSU in the passing game. Listen, I know that this is an LSU offense that candidly and frankly and honestly just hasn't been good. They were efficient in getting off to their 4-0 start. Nussmeier protected the football, and they did what they had to do to win the games with a quarterback that was limited, an offensive line that was young, and all those things. But you're at the halfway point of the season, and you are 84th in the country in scoring offense. You're averaging 26 points a game. And obviously that's offset by, or buoyed by, 56 points against Southeastern Louisiana. So whenever you look at games against FBS teams, your high water mark is 23 against Louisiana Tech. So you have got to prove that you can score before people are going to predict you to score. So I'm not going to predict LSU to go out and have this monster offensive day. Vanderbilt defensively, especially in their front seven, is good. On the back end, they're not. That is, Ty Simpson threw for 340 against them because Alabama showed a commitment to running the football. They won time of possession by a full quarter, by 15 minutes, and it created space for their talented receivers to get open, and Ty Simpson was efficient and threw the football, and that's how Alabama moved the football against Vanderbilt. That is the blueprint. It's exactly what you did a year ago to Vanderbilt. You won time of possession by a dozen minutes. You threw the football. You showed a commitment to balance. You possessed it. You kept Diego Pavia on the sideline. You kept them in third and long, which is why they only converted on 2 of 10. And you won that game 24-17. I think the blueprint and the way this game plays out are exactly the same. I know a lot of people are spooked by this point spread. I don't blame you. I mean, it's jarring to look and say Vanderbilt's favored against a top 10 team for the first time since 1977 or 78, whatever it is. First time they've been favored over LSU since 1948, whatever. Like, the bottom line is, a week ago, the look-ahead line was LSU 3 on the road, which means if that game was in Tiger Stadium, it would have been LSU by 7 or 8, probably. So, it is a road game, but your lack of scoring last week against South Carolina is why the line opened where it did, and it went up to 2.5. It snapped back down to 1.5, and I'll be interested to see what it does if we creep closer to kickoff. But ultimately, LSU's a better team. They're a more talented team. They have a great defense, and I think that defense travels. Even if they're down weeks in Gooden, I think they're plenty good enough to keep this game in reach. And I think LSU's offense did start to find a commitment to running the football a week ago that will carry over this week, as you just heard from Brian Kelly with that 25-5 stat, and that will open up plays in the passing game for a healthier Garrett Nussmeier that allows LSU to win this game. I'm picking it the exact same score of a year ago. I think it's 24-17. I'm picking picking the identical score. But I think the Tigers do, in fact, get the win against Vanderbilt and sets up a massive showdown in Tiger Stadium next week. And I could not be more excited for it. Just like I've been excited to be here at Friends in Low Places in Nashville. What a great day that it's been. Huge shout out to Alondra Villarreal. It is not easy to set up all this to bring her show on remote. And she's like a one-man band who has done awesome and made sure that we're connected and multi-cameras and everything. So many, many thanks to Alondra on site. Moose and Cassie back in studio. Thanks to you all the fans, the listeners who've come by today. What a great day it's been. Go Tigers. Y'all have a great weekend. Thanks again, Our Lady of the Lake and Veteran Security Services. We'll see you Monday back in studio.
After further review.
Hey, look, if you are back in Baton Rouge and you need dinner plans tonight, get by Supper Club. Remember, it's always open seating at the bar. 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. So even if you don't have a reservation, you can always pop on in, belly up to the bar, and have dinner there. Or maybe you're thinking about tomorrow, right? LSU plays at 11 a.m., so maybe you watch the Tigers play, you get some honeydews done in the afternoon, you freshen up, and you go to dinner at Supper Club on Saturday night. Remember, they're open from Tuesday to Saturday, so you can always get your reservation. Maybe it's not this weekend. Maybe it's another football weekend ahead. Or maybe you have a birthday or an anniversary. The bottom line is Supper Club is like taking a piece of Las Vegas or L.A. or New York or Paris or London or Dubai. A world-class dining experience right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. It is Brandon and Mackenzie Landry's gift to Baton Rouge. It's Supper Club. Get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.